ওয়েলকাম টু এফএফবিসি 2021 এর প্লেইংসে। আমরা কিন্তু প্লেইংসে চলে এসেছি এবং আপনাদের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা আছি অ্যাজ ইউজুয়াল, এবং আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু আজকে স্পেশাল গেস্ট আছে। তার সাথে আমরা পরিচয় করে দিব। প্রথমে আমার পরিচয়টা দিয়ে দিই। আমি আছি অনন্য মাসুদ আপনাদের সাথে, এবং আমাদের সাথে রয়েছে কিন্তু সারফরাজ, রিঙ্কু ভাই, বুচার্স, এবং আমাদের স্পেশাল গেস্ট সে কিন্তু আর কেউ না গাইজ, আপনাদের সবার পরিচিত, সবার ভালোবাসার মামা গেমিং। হ্যালো রাকিব ভাই, কি অবস্থা?
কি অবস্থা? আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কি অবস্থা? সবাইকে স্বাগতম এফএফবিসি 2021 এর প্লে ইনসে। আর আজকে কিন্তু ধামাকা হতে চলেছে, কি মনে হয় রিঙ্কু ভাই?
ইটস গ্রেট। সো রাকিব ফার্স্ট টাইম এখানে আসছেন। সো রাকিব ভাইকে সবাই কংগ্রেচুলেশন জানাই এখানে আসার জন্য। মামা গেমিং ফার্স্ট টাইম, এন্ড আমরা ওকে জানাবো কি হচ্ছে কি না হচ্ছে। তার আগে সরফরাজ, মাসুদ, বুচার, আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করতে চাচ্ছি কি হবে কি না হবে প্লেইংসে আজকে। সো ফার্স্ট অফ অল তোমরা জানোই যে 6টা গ্রুপ অলরেডি চলে গেছে না। সো বাকি 12টা গ্রুপ আছে, এন্ড এই 12টা গ্রুপ থেকে নেক্সট 6টা গ্রুপ আর কি 6টা টিম আই মিন ওরা সিলেক্ট হবে। সো দেখা যাক কাহিনী কি হয়। সো হোয়াট ইউ থিঙ্ক গাইস, কে কি হইতে পারে বা কি হতে চলেছে আজকে?
আর
সারফরাজ।
আমি একটা মানে এখানে একটু এড করতে চাই গাইস। হেই হ্যালো আবার সবাইকে আবার আমিও একবার স্বাগতম জানাই নিচ্ছি আমাদের হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ চ্যাম্পিয়নশিপের 2021 এর সবাইকে একবার স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। আমি সারফরাজ কার আপনাদের সাথে আছি। আর আজকে কিন্তু আমরা কথা বলতে যাচ্ছি আমাদের প্লেসে যে 12টা টিম খেলতেছে তাদের একটা শেষ লড়াই। আমি বলবো না যে শেষ লড়াই, কজ এখানে কিন্তু 12টা টিম খেলবে এবং 12টা টিম সরাসরি এদের মধ্যে থেকে 6 জন 6টা টিম কিন্তু অলরেডি চলে যাবে হচ্ছে আমাদের গ্র্যান্ড ফিনালতে, এবং 6টা টিমকে কিন্তু হচ্ছে বাড়ির টিকিট পাঠিয়ে দেওয়া হবে। এবং এইখানে কিন্তু রিঙ্কু ভাই, মাসুদ, বুচার বা আমাদের হচ্ছে মামা গেমিং, বাতেন ভাই সবাই কিন্তু এখানে ভালো খেলতেছে এবং সবাই কিন্তু এখানে মানে তাদের পারফরমেন্স কিন্তু শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখিয়ে আসছে। সো এখানে কিন্তু কেউই খারাপ পজিশনে নাই বা কেউ কিন্তু খারাপ কোন স্কোয়াড নাই। সো আমি জানি না, মানে এইটা কিন্তু একটা লাস্টে এসে একদম মানে কি বলে এটাকে, মানে জ্বালামুখীর একটা মানে ফাটতে চলেছে আজকে।
ইয়েস, ইয়েস।
সেটাই। তো রিজভি, কি অবস্থা?
আপাতত আসলে যেটা দেখতেছি আসলে অনেকেই কিন্তু যে 12টা টিম আসলে প্লেইনসে আছে সবাই কিন্তু আসলে নিজেদের বেস্ট ট্রাই করছিল, বাট কিছু প্রবলেম ছিল, কিছু নিজেদের ড্রব্যাক ছিল, কিছু প্রবলেম ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে, হয়তো সিচুয়েশন সমস্যা ছিল, এই কারণে হয়তো তারা ইয়া করতে পারে না, ফাইনালের জন্য সিলেক্টেড হতে পারে না। সো সেকেন্ড চান্স দেওয়া হয়েছে এই 12টা টিমকে, এবং তারা কিন্তু আসলে এই 12টা টিমে কিন্তু আসলে সেকেন্ড চান্সটা পাচ্ছে, এবং তারা কিন্তু এখানে থেকে কিন্তু 6টা টিম কিন্তু তাদের পারফরমেন্সের উপর ভিত্তি করে কিন্তু নেক্সট গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালেতে কিন্তু সিলেক্টেড হবে। সো দেখা যাক, আমরা আসলে এটা নিয়ে ডিসকাস করব,
তো
দেখা যাক কার কি
তো
ফল্ট ছিল,
রিঙ্কু
কে কি
ভাই,
খারাপ
সারফরাজ,
করছিল সেটা দেখা যাক।
আমরা প্লেইংস এর 12টা টিমের নাম কিন্তু আমরা জানি। আমরা সেটা একবার বলে দিই সেটা সবাইকে। আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু খেলছে জিবি 12, মাস্ক বয়েজ, আমাদের টিম সায়ানাইড, এক্সবি, টিম রায়োট, টিম এলএমসি, অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস, ওয়ান ম্যান খেলতেছে, টিম জেনন খেলছে, বি26 খেলছে, এবং খেলছে কিন্তু আমাদের টিম এলএমসি। সো এই 12টা টিম আছে। এই 12 টিমের মধ্যে কিন্তু আমরা জানি রিঙ্কু ভাই, সারফরাজ, আমাদের একটা দুইটা টিম, স্পেশালি রায়োটের কথা বলবো, বি26 এর কথা বলবো, এটা কিন্তু অনেক ভালো পজিশনে ছিল, টপ ওয়ানেও ছিল। রায়োট কিন্তু রিঙ্কু ভাই আমার জানা মতে 7টা বুয়া নিয়েছে, টোটাল একদিন কিন্তু 4টা বুয়া নিয়েছে। তো তারপরও কিন্তু
একদিনেই 4টা বুইয়া করেছিল তারা। একদম
এক্স্যাক্টলি
মানে
এক্স্যাক্টলি
একদিনই 4টা বুইয়া
এবং
করছিল এবং তারপর পরপর তারা কিন্তু
দুর্ভাগ্যজনক যে
পারফরমেন্স
তারা
দেখিয়ে আসছে।
ডিরেক্টলি ফাইনালে যেতে পারেনি, এত ভালো খেলেও।
না, ওরা
এক্স্যাক্টলি
7 ডে নাম্বার 7 পর্যন্ত ওরা টপ 1 এন্ড 2 এর মধ্যে কিন্তু আপ ডাউন করতেছিল। আনফরচুনেটলি পরের দিকে এসে ওরা ডাউন হয়ে গেছে। সো সো
এখানে
আনফরচুনেট।
এখানে যে জিনিসটা হচ্ছে যে তারা কিন্তু গ্রুপ বি থেকে ছিল, মামা ভাই আর সারফরাজ ভাই, সেটা হচ্ছে যে তারা কিন্তু গ্রুপ বি তে ছিল, এবং গ্রুপ বি কে কিন্তু প্রথম থেকে সবাই বলতেছে গ্রুপ অফ ডেথ। ডেথ গ্রুপ। এই গ্রুপে কিন্তু মানে মোস্ট হার্ডেস্ট টিম গুলা কিন্তু ছিল। আমি যদি নাম উচ্চারণ করি সেক্ষেত্রে বলবো জব ব্রেকার্স ছিল, আমাদের এজেন্ট ছিল, তারপরে হচ্ছে রায়োট ছিল, সাথে কিন্তু টিম জেনন ছিল, আরো অনেক হার্ড হার্ড টিম ছিল। প্রায় 6টা টিমই খুবই স্ট্রং, এবং সেখানে কিন্তু আসলে রায়োটের জন্য একটু আনফরচুনেট হয়ে গিয়েছে, শেষ পর্যন্ত টিকে থাকতে পারে নাই। এখানে আরো কিছু টিম আছে যেমন বি26। রিঙ্কু ভাই, বি26 এর কথা যদি আপনি একটু বলেন।
ইয়া, বি26 যে কাহিনী করতেছিল, বি26 অস্থির খেলতেছিল। এন্ড অ্যাটাকিং গুলো যেগুলো ছিল, মাসুদ ভাই সিরিয়াসলি ওরা টিম ওয়ার্কটা যেটা ছিল ভালো করতেছিল। জাস্ট আনফরচুনেট ছিল যে মাঝে মধ্যে এমন সিচুয়েশন আমরা দেখছিলাম যেখানে ছন্ন বিচ্ছিন্ন ছিল ওরা। এক দুইটা ম্যাচ ছিল যেখানে টিম ওয়ার্কটা কাজ করে, লাস্টের দিকে এসে যে ম্যাচগুলো আমরা ফলো করলাম ওইখানে টিমমেট ছিল ঠিক আছে, জাস্ট একটু অগুছালো ছিল, যেটা ওদের জন্য খুবই একটা ফলব্যাক বা যেটাই বলে একটু আমাদেরকে ডাউন করে।
লাস্টের দিনটা খুব খারাপ ছিল রিঙ্কু ভাই ওদের জন্য। আমরা যতদূর জানি যে একেবারে শেষের দিকে ছিল লাস্ট লিগ ডেতে। তো এটা খুব বাজে একটা ইফেক্ট ফেলেছে তাদের উপরে। তো সারফারাজ,
এখানে কিন্তু আপনারা যদি ভুলও যান তাহলে কিন্তু চলবে না। কারণ আমাদের অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্ট এর কথা আমি এখানে একটু বলতে চাই। তাদের একটা জিনিস আমার কাছে খুব ভালো লাগছিল যে তারা কিন্তু একজনই ৪ জনই একসাথে থাকার চেষ্টা করে। সবসময় ৪ জন একসাথে থাকার চেষ্টা করে এবং তাদের একটা ফায়ার পাওয়ার যেটা তারা ক্রিয়েট করে মানে অপোনেন্ট স্কোয়াড এর জন্য সেইটা কিন্তু দুর্দান্ত ছিল। সো অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্ট এর জন্য I don't know বাট আমার কাছে এটা মনে হচ্ছিল যে তারা কিন্তু মানে ফাইনাল পর্যন্ত যাইতে পারবে। মানে জাস্ট প্লেসে তাদেরকে খেলতে হবে না। বাট আনফরচুনেটলি সামহাউ তাদের একটু ড্রব্যাক ছিল যেটার কারণে তারা যাইতে পারেনি। সো অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্ট কিন্তু এখানে একটা মানে সবার জন্য একটা থ্রেট হিসেবে কাজ করবে আমাদের প্লেইনসে।
যতগুলা টিম আছে সবগুলা ডিজার্ভ করে আবার ফাইনালে যাওয়ার সেকেন্ড চান্স এটা। বাট কয়েকটা টিম ছিল যাদের ড্রব্যাক ছিল যেখানে স্ট্র্যাটেজি কাজ করে নাই, টিমও একটা কাজ করে নাই। এরা নেক্সট সিজনে বা নেক্সট যখন তারা অন্য অন্য টুর্নামেন্ট খুলে সেইখানে ভালো করে খেলতে পারবে। বাট প্লেইনসে লাস্ট চান্স এটা যারা এতদিন একটু চান্স ড্রব্যাকে ছিল, আজকে লাস্ট চান্স প্লেইনের এখানে যদি এরা কিছু করতে পারে এটা ডাইরেক্ট কিন্তু ফাইনালে যাচ্ছে। And আজকে একটা বা দুইটা টিম যাবে না, একসাথে ৬টা টিম যাবে।
৬টা টিম।
তো এটা খুবই
এক্সাক্টলি।
একটা
সো এখানে একটা জিনিস রিংকু ভাই যে আমাদের সায়ানাইটের কথা আপনি বলছিলেন, সায়ানাইট কিন্তু বেশ কয়েকটা বইয়াও পেয়েছে। বাট যেটা হয়েছে যে আল্টিমেটলি তাদের প্রতিদিন আমরা সবসময় বলি যে এই ধরনের টুর্নামেন্টে কিন্তু প্রতিদিন পারফরম্যান্সে টিকিয়ে রাখতে হবে। সো পারফরম্যান্স ফোকাসটা
ধারাবাহিকতা
কিন্তু
খুবই
একদিন
জরুরি।
হুম।
খুবই জরুরি। এক্সাক্টলি। ধারাবাহিকতা কিন্তু একদিন মিস হয়ে গেলে কিন্তু তাহলে আর সুযোগ কিন্তু হাতছাড়া হয়ে যেতে পারে। যেটা আমরা B26 এর ক্ষেত্রে দেখেছি, মাত্রই আমরা বললাম। তারা কিন্তু লিগ ডে 8 পর্যন্ত কিন্তু টপ 2 এর মধ্যে ছিল। আমি যদি ভুল না করি বোধহয় টপ 1 এও ছিল। বাট লাস্টের ডে লিগ ডে 9 এ কিন্তু তাদের খুব ব্যাড একটা ডে যায়, খুব বাজে একটা দিন যায়। এবং সেই দিনের রেজাল্টে কিন্তু তারা আজকে প্লে-ইনসে চলে আসছে ডিরেক্টলি ফাইনালে ছাড়া। সো এটা একটা আনফরচুনেট। ১ম থেকে কিন্তু সবাইরে ফোকাসটা ধরে রাখা লাগতো। সো বাতেন ভাই,
হুম।
আপনার কি কোনো ফেভারিট আছে নাকি এবারকার প্লে-ইনস 8 12 টা টিমের মধ্যে?
আমি বলবো আ সায়ানাইড এবং বাংলা ইউনিটি থেকে বিইউ জেনন, বিইউ জেনন।
জেনন।
ওকে।
অফ কোর্স।
একদম।
ইয়েস।
জেননের কথা যদি আমরা বলি সারফরাজ, তাহলে কি বলতে পারি আমরা জেনন সম্পর্কে?
জেনন আ জেনন ইজ লাইক আমাদের জেনন এমন একটা টিম আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হয় যে লাইক তাদের গেম প্লে আমার কাছে একদম ইন্টারন্যাশনাল লেভেলের লাগে। কজ তারা যেভাবে আরকি মানে আপনি সামনে যে অপোনেন্ট আছে তাদের থেকে আমি এমন কোন সময় দেখিনি তারা যে একটা ফাইট শুরু করছে তাদের থেকে একটা প্লেয়ার ব্যাক আউট করে বের হয়ে যাবে সেরকম কখনোই হয় না। কজ তারা যেন যখনই কোন ফাইটে এনগেজ হয়ে যায় তখন একটা প্লেয়ার যে কিনা অপোনেন্ট প্লেয়ারের তারা ৩ জনকে যদি ডাউন করতে পারে সেখান থেকে অবশ্যই সেই অপোনেন্ট স্কোয়াড থেকে চায় যে একটু ব্যাক আউট করে চলে যাওয়ার। বাট আমাদের জেনন একটা জিনিস দেখছি দে আর লিটারালি হান্টিং ফর দা অপোনেন্ট স্কোয়াড। আমাদের যে একটা প্লেয়ার যে কিনা পেছনে ব্যাক আউট করতে যাচ্ছিল তাকে জাস্ট সে খুঁজে খুঁজে মারে। জেননের এই জিনিসটা আমার কাছে খুব ভালো লাগে যে আমি কিল নিব তোমার পুরো চারটা প্লেয়ারকে আমি কিল কনফার্ম করে ফেলবো। কজ তোমরা যেন পেছন থেকে আমরা পরে আবার ঝামেলা না করতে পারো। সো জেননের এই জিনিসটা আমার কাছে খুব ভালো লাগে এবং তাদের যে মানে টিম কম্বিনেশনটা সেটা একদমই এক্সোস টিম কম্বিনেশন।
যদি এখানে অ্যাগ্রেসিভ খেলা বলি তো বুচারের অনেকগুলো ফেভারিট টিম আছে এখানে অ্যাগ্রেসিভ খেলা। এন্ড বুচার যদি আমি বুচারকে একটা জিনিস মনে করে দেই টিম ওয়ান মানে একটা কাহিনী কাজী ভাইয়ের আই থিঙ্ক স্ট্র্যাটেজি ওয়াইজ বুচার কিন্তু অলরেডি আসা শুরু করে ফেলেছে। ওই ম্যাচে বুচার আমি ছিলাম আর কি। কাজী ভাইয়ের কথা মনে আছে বুচার?
আসলে M79 ইউজ করতে পারে ভালো। কাজী ভাই কিন্তু এখানের মধ্যে ওয়ান ম্যানের সাথে যে ফাইটটা হচ্ছিল ওখানের মধ্যে কিন্তু একদম স্টিল কিন্তু ওয়েট করতেছিল ওখানের মধ্যে। আমরা যদি খেয়াল করি এখানের মধ্যে ওই দিন কিন্তু একটা মুভমেন্টও ছিল না কাজী ভাইয়ের, কারণ সোলো মেম্বার হিসেবে কিন্তু তিনি একদমই ওয়েট করতেছিল। সো ওয়েটিং ফর দ্য রাইট মোমেন্ট যেটাকে বলে একদম। বাট শেষ রক্ষা হয় নাই, বাইর হওয়ার সাথে সাথে ওয়াইপ হতেছিল। বিইউর আমি বলবো যে কাজী ভাই যে ছিল এক্সট্রিম এক্সের কাজী ভাই ছিল, যিনি উনি ওনাদের স্কোয়াড মেম্বাররা কিন্তু খেলছে, তাদের বেস্টটা ট্রাই করছে, বাট ওই দিন কিন্তু আসলে কিছুই করা ছিল না। আর আমি আসলে কয়েকটা টিম নিয়ে স্পেসিফিক কয়েকটা টিম নিয়ে আমি আসলে কথা বলতে চাই আজকে। তাদের মধ্যে আমি 4টা টিম নিয়ে কথা বলবো। এক নম্বর হচ্ছে প্রথমে হচ্ছে মাস্ক বয়েজ, তারপর হচ্ছে আমাদের B26 মিস্টেক্স, তারপর হচ্ছে আমাদের টিম LMC। সো এই কয়েকটা টিম নিয়ে আমি এবং রাইডের কথা বলবো। আসলে সবার কথা তো আমি আসলে বলতে গেলে আসলে হয় না, সবাইকে সবার চান্স দিতে হয়। সো আমি কয়েকটা টিম নিয়ে কথা বলি। প্রথমে আসি যে মাস্ক বয়েজের কথা। তারা কিন্তু আন্ডারডগ ছিল, ঠিক আছে। তারা কিন্তু যেমন সচরাচর কিন্তু নাম করা টিম না, তারা কিন্তু একদম আন্ডারগ্রাউন্ড থেকে উঠে আসছে। এবং আমরা যদি প্রিভিয়াসলি খেয়াল করি মাস্ক বয়েজ কিন্তু এখন পর্যন্ত ফার্স্ট কিন্তু তারা কিন্তু FFBC টুর্নামেন্টে খেলছে। সো তাদের কিন্তু কয়েকটা ড্রব্যাক ছিল এখন পর্যন্ত টুর্নামেন্ট যেগুলো হয়েছে সেগুলোর মধ্যে কয়েকটা ড্রব্যাক ছিল যে অ্যাগ্রেশন ছিল, বাট অ্যাগ্রেশনটা পারফেক্টলি কাজে লাগাইতে পারে নাই। অ্যাগ্রেশন
ইউটিলাইজ
কখন
করতে পারে
কোথায়
না।
ইউজ করতে হবে, হ্যাঁ
হুম, হুম।
কোন জায়গায় ইউজ করতে পারে, কখন কোথায় ইউজ করতে হবে সেটা ইউজ জানে না। এটার জন্য কিন্তু তাদের ড্রব্যাকটা ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে। প্রথমত আমি বলবো যে তারা যেখানের মধ্যে কয়েকটা টিমের সাথে এঙ্গেজ হয়েছিল প্রথম কয়েকটা ফাইটের মধ্যে, আমি যেটা খেয়াল করছি আমার পার্সপেক্টিভ থেকে, তারা কিন্তু এখানের মধ্যে অ্যাগ্রেসিভলি প্রচুর অ্যাগ্রেসিভ ছিল ওখানের মধ্যে, কোনো ব্যাকে কেউ ছিল না এবং একজন কিন্তু সাপোর্টে থাকা লাগে, সবাই কিন্তু পুশ দিলে হয় না, চারজনের মধ্যে একজন কিন্তু সাপোর্টে থাকা লাগে। সো ওখানের মধ্যে কিন্তু একটু খেয়াল দেওয়া উচিত ছিল। এবং তারা কিন্তু জোনের দিকে ঢুকে একটু লেট রোটেশন দেয়, কয়েকটা টিমের কিন্তু লেট রোটেশন কয়েকজন দেয়। সো আমি যে কয়েকটা টিম নিয়ে কথা বলতে আসছি তারা কিন্তু কয়েকজন লেট রোটেশন দেয়। তারপরে আসি যে, সো এই কয়েকটা মাস্ক বয়েজের এই দিকটা যদি তারা ঠিক করতে পারে, আমার মনে হয় যে তারা কিন্তু ফাইনাল ওঠার চান্স আছে। এবং সেকেন্ডে আমি যদি কথা বলি টিম এলএমসির কথা বলতে গেলে, এলএমসির প্রথম যে ড্রব্যাকটা ছিল, তারা কিন্তু আমি কয়েকটা লিগ ডেতে দেখছি তারা কিন্তু কয়েকটা লিগ ডের মধ্যে লেট রোটেশন দিচ্ছিল, কন্টিনিউয়াসলি কিন্তু লেট রোটেশন দিচ্ছিল। আমরা যদি খেয়াল করি, প্রথমত কিন্তু তাদের লেট রোটেশনটাই তাদের ওয়াইপড আউট করার মূল কারণ ছিল, কারণ তারা কিন্তু জোনের ড্যামেজটা প্রথমে খেয়ে যাচ্ছিল এবং পরে কিন্তু আসলে অন্যান্য টিমগুলোও কিন্তু তাদেরকে স্পট করতেছিল। এই কারণে কিন্তু আসলে তারা লেট রোটেশন দেওয়ার পরে কিন্তু তাদেরকে এনিমি স্পট করে, তাদেরকে কিন্তু এনিমিটা স্পট করতে পারতো ইজিলি, কারণ অপোনেন্ট কিন্তু অলরেডি জোনে ঢুকে বসে আছে, বাট তারা কিন্তু জোনে ঢুকতেছে একদম লেটের দিকে, এবং জোনের এজ ঘুরে যে লেট রোটেশন দেওয়া হচ্ছে তখন কিন্তু তারা ড্যামেজগুলো নিয়ে ফেলতেছে। এবং অ্যাগ্রেসিভ কথা বলতে গেলে তারা কিন্তু প্রথমে কয়েকদিন, আমি প্রথম যে ফাইটটা তাদের খেয়াল করি, তাদের কয়েকটা ফলব্যাক ছিল, সেখানের মধ্যে হচ্ছে জবরেকার যখন ফাইট এঙ্গেজ হচ্ছিল তাদের সাথে, ইভেন ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়ে আমি আর সম্ভবত ছিলাম সেখানে, ইলুশনিস্ট সম্ভবত ছিলাম সেখানে। সো জবরেকার যেখানে ফাইটটা দিচ্ছিল, সেখানে জবরেকার সাথে যে ফাইটটা হচ্ছিল, সেখানের মধ্যে কিন্তু দুইজন প্লেয়ার কিন্তু ডাবল ভেক্টর ইউজ করতেছিল, বাট অপোনেন্ট কিন্তু এলএমসি ছিল। এলএমসি কিন্তু একটু নার্ভাস হয়ে গেছিল যখন দেখছিল ডাবল ভেক্টর। সো এই নার্ভাসনেসটা কাটিয়ে উঠতে পারলে কিন্তু তাদের জন্য একটু বেটার হয়, তাদেরও কিন্তু ফাইনালে ওঠার চান্স থাকবে। এবং আমার মনে হয় যে রায়টের কথা বলতে গেলে, রায়ট কিন্তু এখন পর্যন্ত তাদের পারফরমেন্স শো করছে ভালোভাবে, বাট কয়েকটা দিকে ড্রব্যাক ছিল, যেমন তাদের দুইজন বা তিনজন প্লেয়ারের মধ্যে, চারজন প্লেয়ারের মধ্যে কিন্তু একজন কিন্তু একটু ওভার অ্যাগ্রেসিভ, আমি যেটা বলবো, তার কারণ তাদের কিন্তু একটু আমরা বলি না ওই যে একজন লন ওলফ থাকে প্রত্যেকটা টিমের মধ্যে, যে সবসময় একটা বিপদে ফালাই দেয় পুরো টিমটাকে, ওরকম একজন প্লেয়ার আছে। সো এটা আসলে তাদের একটু ঠিক করতে হবে, তাদের টিম ওয়ার্কটা আরেকটু ভালো করলে আমার মনে হয় যে বেটার হবে। কারণ একজন টিমমেট ওদিন আমি খেয়াল দিলাম যে গ্রেনেড কুক করতে করতে কিন্তু নিজে ডাউন হয়েছিল, ইভেন শেষ পর্যন্ত ফুল টিমটাই কিন্তু রিস্কে পড়ে যায়। সো এইসব ছোটখাটো জিনিসগুলো যদি খেয়াল দেওয়া হয়, এসব এসব এইসব ছোটখাটো জিনিসগুলো যদি খেয়াল দেওয়া হয় তাহলে কিন্তু ঠিক হয়। এবং লাস্টে আমি যদি বলি B26 এর কথা, আমি এই কয়েকটা টিমের কথাই বলতেছি কারণ আমি এই কয়েকটা টিম নিয়ে রিসার্চ করছি। B26 এর কথা যদি বলি, B26 এর কথা আমি বলবো যে আসলে তারা কিন্তু তারা একদম ফার্স্টের থেকে লাস্ট পর্যন্ত কিন্তু তারা সেম জোন কিন্তু ইউজ করে, সেম ড্রপ পয়েন্টে ইউজ করে, কারণ তারা সেম ড্রপ পয়েন্ট ইউজ করতে অভ্যস্ত। এবং তাদের কিন্তু আমি প্রিভিয়াস গেমগুলোতে যদি আমি খেয়াল করি, সেখানের মধ্যে আসলে তারা সব জায়গার মধ্যে কিন্তু পার্কেটের কথা যদি বলি আমি, সেখানের মধ্যে তারা কিন্তু ক্রস রোডে ইউজ করতেছে ড্রপ পয়েন্ট হিসেবে। আর বারমুডা যদি খেয়াল করি, বারমুডাতে কিন্তু তারা বিমা শক্তি স্ট্রিপ খেয়াল করতেছি আমরা, প্রত্যেক টাইমে কিন্তু তারা সেম ড্রপ পয়েন্ট ইউজ করতেছে। ইভেন তারা যদি একটু ডিফারেন্ট ড্রপ পয়েন্ট ইউজ করে বা ডিফারেন্ট স্ট্র্যাটেজি ইউজ করে, ইভেন তারপরে কিন্তু তারা 2v2 স্প্লিট হয়ে যায়, তারা কিন্তু দুইজন দুইজন করে স্প্লিট হয়ে যায়, এটাও কিন্তু একটু খেয়াল দিতে হবে, কারণ দুইজন দুইজন স্প্লিট হলে কিন্তু আসলে একটু বিপদে পড়ার চান্স আছে। কারণ একটা টিম, আমরা যদি একটা টিমকে দুইটা টিমে ডিভাইড করি, তাহলে কিন্তু তারা কিন্তু যেটা করতেছে, তারা কিন্তু ডিভাইড অ্যান্ড কনকার ক্রিয়েট করতেছে, ডিস্ট্রাকশন ক্রিয়েট করতেছে, বাট এর পাশাপাশি তারা ডিভাইডও হয়ে যেতেছে। সো লাস্টে আলটিমেটলি কিন্তু তারা দুইটা টিম যেটা ক্রিয়েট করছে, চারজনের টিমকে দুইটা টিমে ডিভাইড করছে, তারা কিন্তু আলটিমেটলি কিন্তু সেখানের মধ্যে দুইটা টিমকে রিস্কে ফেলাচ্ছে। ইভেন যদি একটা টিম যদি ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডের থেকে যদি একটা ফাইট নেয়, থার্ড পার্টি অ্যাটাক হিসেবে দেয়, তারা যদি এখানের মধ্যে আরেকটা টিম যদি তাদেরকে থার্ড পার্টি দেয়, তাহলে কিন্তু রিস্কে পড়ে যাবে। ইভেন তারা যেটা করে, তারা কিন্তু দুইটা টিমে কিন্তু ওয়াচ টাওয়ারে কিন্তু ক্যাম্প করে কিছুক্ষণের জন্য, আমরা যেটা খেয়াল করবো। এবং এরপরে কিন্তু তাদের কিন্তু আসলে প্রবলেম হয় যে ওয়াচ টাওয়ার থেকে নামতে গেলে, কারণ ওয়াচ টাওয়ার থেকে নামতে গেলে তারা অলরেডি ফাইট দিছে, অন্যান্য টিমগুলো তাদেরকে স্পেক্টেট করছে, অবজার্ভ করে ফেলছে, স্পট করছে, বাট লাস্ট পর্যন্ত হয় কি তারা কিন্তু জোনে যেতে হলে একটু হিমশিম খায়। সো এটা একটু খেয়াল দিতে পারে। পার্গেটরি ম্যাচের দিকে, এটা বলছিলাম আমি বারমুডার কথা, পার্গেটরি ম্যাচের দিকে যদি আমরা খেয়াল করি, পার্গেটরিতে কিন্তু তারা ওভারঅল তাদের পারফরমেন্স থাকে, বাট একটু যদি ব্যাকে যদি খেয়াল দেওয়া হয়, সবাই কিন্তু এখানের মধ্যে আমি যে চারটা টিমের কথা বলছি, তারা কিন্তু ওভারওয়াচে একজন মাস্ট থাকতে হবে, তাহলে কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় যে বেটার হয়, নিজেদের ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা কভার দিতে পারলে কিন্তু বেস্ট। এইটাই হচ্ছিল আমার ওভারঅল আমি যে চারটা টিমের কথা বলছি। আর বাকিদের টিমগুলো আছে, আস্তে আস্তে কথা বলবো, সো সবাইকে আসলে টাইম দেওয়া উচিত। সো এটা আমি আপাতত বললাম আর কি।
অবভিয়াসলি সো বুচার্স যে মেইন পয়েন্টগুলো নোটিস করলা সেটা হচ্ছে মানে ব্যাক একজন থাকে, একজন প্লেয়ার স্ট্র্যাটেজিটা একটু চেঞ্জ করা, ব্যাকে থাকা জোন নিয়ে একটু বেশি আর একটু চিন্তা করা আর কি, নাকি? সেটাই।
এখানে এক্স্যাক্টলি রিঙ্কু ভাই, এই জোনের কথাটা যদি বলি তাহলে কিন্তু আমরা ওয়ান ম্যানের কথা একটু বলবো। ওয়ান ম্যান কিন্তু ওয়ান অফ দ্য মোস্ট অ্যাগ্রেসিভ টিম এবার কিন্তু এফএফবিসি তে। আমি কিন্তু প্রথম থেকেই দেখছি ওরা কিন্তু ফার্স্ট ফাইট বলেন বা ক্লোজ ফাইটে সবসময় কিন্তু খুব ভালো করে আসছে, স্কোয়াড ওয়াইপ আউট করতেছে। কিন্তু আলটিমেটলি ওয়ান ম্যানের জন্য যেটা হয়, ম্যাক্সিমাম টাইমে তারা কিন্তু পজিশনটা ভালো ধরতে পারতেছে না। এটার
Yeah.
কারণ এটার কারণ কিন্তু তাদের হচ্ছে ওই যে জোন প্রেডিকশন বলেন বা জোনের দিকে রোটেশন বলেন, বিকজ আপনার কাছে যখন জোন থাকবে না, আপনার দূরে যখন জোন থাকবে, তখন কিন্তু আপনার যতই কিলস থাকুক বা যতই আপনার গান পাওয়ার থাকুক, আপনাকে কিন্তু জোনে ঢুকতে
আর
দিবে না কেউই।
Yes.
এরকম টুর্নামেন্টে কিন্তু জোন অনেক ম্যাটার করে, প্রেডিকশনটা অনেক
অবশ্যই।
ম্যাটার করে। কারণ জোন যার বুইয়া তার, এরকম একটা কথা আছে। তো জোনে আগে আর্লি রোটেট করে যদি জোনে যে বসে থাকে এন্ড বাইরে থেকে যারা আসতে চায় তাদেরকে বাধাগ্রস্ত করে, অনেক
Yes.
ইম্প্যাক্ট ফেলে এবং ধারণা থাকতে হয়,
আমি
স্বচ্ছ
আমি একটা
ধারণা যে
আমি একটা
জোনটা এখানে পড়তে পারে বা ফাইনাল জোনটা এখানে মেক হইতে পারে। বেসিক্যালি আমি বলবো যে ফার্স্ট জোনটা তেমন ইম্পর্টেন্ট না, বাট সেকেন্ড জোন ওখান থেকে কিন্তু গুরুত্ব শুরু হয়ে যায় জোনের।
Yes, আমি
সেজন্য
লাইভ
আমার
থেকে অনেকগুলো পয়েন্ট নোট আউট করছিলাম, যে পয়েন্টগুলো বুচারসও বললো যে জোন কাভার দেওয়া বিষয়টা, আর মানে একটা টিম দুইটা টিমে স্প্লিট হয়ে যাবে বিষয়টা, এটা আমি অনেকবার ফলো করছি, অনেকবার বলছিলাম বুচারের সাথে মাসুদের সাথে সারফরাজ সাথে যতবার গেছি যে কয়েকটা টিম ছিল যারা পজিশনটা স্প্লিট করে ফেলতেছে, এটাতে সমস্যা বুচার অলরেডি কাভার আপ করে ফেলছে, ওটা বলার দরকার নেই, আমি আর কাভার আপ করবো না। তো ওই জিনিসগুলো আর কি, এগুলো আসলে একটু নজর দেওয়া উচিত সবগুলো যতগুলো টিম আছে এইখানে। এন্ড বুচার কি
এক্সাক্টলি।
বুচার হোয়াট ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু সে?
আসলে একটা কথা বলতে চাইছিলাম, আর্লি বেশি রোটেশন দিলে হবে না, বেশি আর্লি রোটেশন দিলে প্রবলেম ক্রিয়েট হয়, কারণ সেখানের মধ্যে কিন্তু আসলে চারদিক পাঁচ দিকে খেয়াল রাখতে হয়, কারণ সেটা কিন্তু একটা বিরক্তিকর ব্যাপার হবে, কারণ ডিস্ট্রাকশন কিন্তু একটা সামান্য ডিস্ট্রাকশন হলেও কিন্তু সেটা কিন্তু বড় ডিফারেন্স ক্রিয়েট করতে পারে। আমরা যদি বেশি আর্লি রোটেট দিই, যেমন সেফ জোন শ্রিঙ্ক হচ্ছে 1 মিনিট টাইম আছে বা 1.5 মিনিট টাইম আছে রেগুলার, 1.5 মিনিট টাইমের মধ্যে যদি আমরা সবার আগেই যদি জোনে যে বসে থাকি, সেখানে কিন্তু আসলে প্রবলেমটা ক্রিয়েট হয় কি, সবাই এখানের মধ্যে কিন্তু আমি শুধু একা না, শুধু আমি কিন্তু সেম চিন্তা করতেছি না, আমার মতো কিন্তু সেম চিন্তা করতেছে আরো অনেকে। সো আরো 3-4 টিম কিন্তু সেম চিন্তা করতেছে। সো 3-4 টিমও যখন জোনের দিকে মুভ করতেছে, ধরেন আমি আমার কথা বলি, ধরেন আমি আগে জোনে গিয়ে বসে গেলাম, তখন কিন্তু আসলে আমাকে কিন্তু 4টা বা 5টা টিমের দিকে খেয়াল দিতে হচ্ছে, এই দিকের থেকে একটা টিম আসতেছে, ওই দিকের থেকে একটা টিম আসতেছে, 4জন 4টা দিকে দিকে খেয়াল করলে ইজিলি ডিস্ট্রাক্ট হয়ে যাবে। সো ওইটাও কিন্তু করা যাবে না, একদম একটা সেফ একটা টাইম সিলেক্ট করে, কিন্তু
দ্য
টাইম জোন
থিং
একটা
ইজ
সিলেক্ট করে, যেমন
আবার
আমার মতে
অনেকে
মনে হচ্ছে
হ্যাঁ,
30 সেকেন্ড করে ক্রিয়েট করলে, 30 সেকেন্ড
আবার
যখন শ্রিঙ্ক হওয়ার টাইম থাকবে, তখন যদি আমরা মুভ করি, তখন আসলে তার এই টিমগুলো যদি মুভ করে, তাহলে তাদের জন্য একটু
অনেক টিমের
বেটার হয়।
স্ট্র্যাটেজি আবার থাকে যে যেহেতু বড় টুর্নামেন্ট সবাই এজ দিয়ে নামবে সাইড গুলা দিয়ে, তো আমরা কি করি, মিডিলে নেমে বসে থাকি যেখানে জন 2-3টা অনায়াসে পেয়ে যাব। এটা একটা ভালো,
এটা
মানে
এটা
দুই
অনেকে
তিনটা
করে।
হাউস বিল্ড করে
আমরা
একটা
জবেকারকে
বসে
দেখেছিলাম যে সব সময় মিডলে নামতে। জবেকার প্রত্যেকটা টুর্নামেন্টে প্রত্যেকটা ম্যাচে মিডলে নামছিল। এন্ড ফার্স্ট এর দিকে যে সময়টা ২ টা টিমে স্প্লিট হওয়াটা, ওরা জবেকার হচ্ছিল যে ২ টা টিমে স্প্লিট হয়ে যাচ্ছিল। বাট শেষের দিকে এসে ওরা বুঝছে যে না, এরকম করার দরকার নাই। পরে তারা একজন ব্যাকআপে রাখছে, ৩ জন দিয়ে রাশ করতেছিল আরকি।
এটা কিন্তু
সারপ্রাইজ।
রিংকু ভাই আমরা লাস্টের দিকে দেখেছি জব বিকাশের কাছ থেকে। তাদের কিন্তু এই স্ট্র্যাটেজি লাস্টের দিকে এসে আমরা ফলো করতে গেছি।
ইয়াপ, ইয়াপ।
না,
সারপ্রাইজ।
আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হয়েছে যে আপনারা যেটা বললেন যে জোন প্রেডিক্ট করা আসলে জোনের ভিতরে যাওয়া বা হচ্ছে সবকিছুই আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হয় কি যে সবকিছুরই একটা মানে কথা আছে না যে সব আ মানে রিঅ্যাকশন এর একটা অপোজিট একটা রিঅ্যাকশন পাওয়া যায়। মানে অ্যাকশন এর একটা রিঅ্যাকশন পাওয়া যায়। তেমনি যদি আপনি ওই যে যেমন বুচার বলল যে শুধুমাত্র আমি যে একটা জিনিস চিন্তা করতেছি যে আমি জোনের ভিতরে যাবো, বাট বাদবাকি যতগুলো স্কোয়াড আছে কিন্তু সেম জিনিসটাই চিন্তা করতেছে। আমরা যখন আমাদের কিন্তু যখন আমরা দেখি যে জোনটা আসলে এই মধ্যে হয়েছে যে লাইক পিকের মধ্যে হয়েছে। সো আমরা কিন্তু চাইবো যে পিকের কম্পাউন্ড গুলা ধরার। সো তখনই যখন আমরা পিকের কম্পাউন্ড গুলো ধরতে যাবো, অন্যান্য স্কোয়াড গুলাও কিন্তু সেই সেম জিনিসটাই করবে। সো তখন কিন্তু আমরা একটা ইনিশিয়াল ফাইটে কিন্তু এনগেজ হয়ে যাই এবং সেখানে কিন্তু থার্ড পার্টি হওয়ার চেষ্টা করে। এইজন্য কিন্তু বেশিরভাগ সময় আমাদের এই টুর্নামেন্ট গুলোতে দেখবেন যে বেশ কয়েকটি স্কোয়াড গুলা কিন্তু একদম জোনের সাথে মানে এজ দিয়ে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করে, যেটা আমাদের রাকিব ভাই বলো, বাতেন ভাই বলো, সবগুলো এজ দিয়ে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করে যে জোনের সাথে আমরা রোটেশনটা করব, যে জোনটা পাই গেলে। আর যেমনটা আমাদের বারমুডাতে যেমনটা হয় যে বারমুডাতে একটা নোন ম্যাপ আমাদের, সেখানে কিন্তু মানে কাভার খুব একটা বেশি নাই। সো কাভার মানে খুব আ ব মানে বাজে একটা পজিশন বলতে কি যে কাভার খুব বেশি নাই। যে যদি কম্পাউন্ডের ভিতরে থাকে তাহলে
অ্যাকচুয়ালি
কাভার পাচ্ছি।
ম্যাপটা
বাট
অনেক ছোট।
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ। লাইক এইরকমই হয়। বাট আমাদের প্রোটেক্টরি বলেন বা কালারি বলেন, সেখানে কিন্তু আ একটা পার্মানেন্ট কাভার থাকে। সব জায়গাতেই থাকে। সবকিছুতে আছে। মানে যেরকম ফাঁকা জায়গাটা খুব কম আছে। সো সবগুলো স্কোয়াডই চায় যে একটু ইয়ে করে যাওয়া। সো এইখানে কিন্তু একটা অ্যাডভান্টেজ ও থাকে এবং ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজ ও থাকে এবং লাইক এটাই আরকি সবথেকে কথা। আর এইখানে
তো
কিন্তু আমি
এখানে
একটা টিমের কথা বলতে চাবো। এখানে একটা টিমের কথা বলতে চাবো। সেটা হচ্ছে টিম সাইনাইড। আমার কাছে ওয়ান অফ দ্য মোস্ট ফেভারিট আমার কাছে টিম সাইনাইড এখানে লেগেছে। সো টিম সাইনাইড এর কথা বলতে যাবো। আমি কিন্তু বেশ কয়েকটা ম্যাচে আমি টিম সাইনাইড এর মানে খেলা লক্ষ্য করেছি। তাদের মধ্যে পেশেন্স লেভেল ইজ জাস্ট লাইক মাইটি পেশেন্স লেভেল তাদের মধ্যে। তাদের ধৈর্য লেভেলটা অনেক ভালো। কজ আমার লাস্ট একটা ম্যাচের কথা মনে পড়তেছে। সেখানে হচ্ছে তারা পিক থেকে বিমাশক্তি স্ট্রিপে যাওয়ার যে একটা কম্পাউন্ড থাকে, মাল্টি উইন্ডো যে কম্পাউন্ড গুলো থাকে, সেখানে জাস্ট বসে ছিল ৪ জন। তাদের পাশে আমাদের জো বেকারস ফাইট করে গেছে। তাদের পাশে টিম এক্সবি এসে ফাইট করে গেছে। হ্যাঁ, তার টিম এক্সবি ওখানে এলিমিনেট হয়ে যায় পুরোপুরি এবং টিম এজেন্ট এখানে আইসা আমাদের জো বেকারস এর পুরো স্কোয়াডকে এলিমিনেট করে দিয়ে তারা আরেকটা স্কোয়াডের সাথে ফাইট হয়। বাট টিম সাইনাইড জাস্ট তারা এখান থেকে বের হয়নি। তারা ওখান থেকে বের হয়নি। তারা কোন রকম ফাইটে যায়ই নাই। সো আমি এখানে টিম সাইনের কাছে এই জিনিসটা মানে খুব ভালো লাগছে যে তাদের মাইন্ড সেটআপটা অনেক জোস। মানে কজ তারা যে সেটআপটা করছে যে না, আমরা এতক্ষণ পর্যন্ত সার্ভাইভ করে যাব এবং এই সময়টা থেকে আমরা সেখানে হচ্ছে মানে বুয়াটা করতে পারবো, মানে এই সময়টা যে আমরা ফাইটটা কনফার্ম করবো, মানে ফাইটটা করবো সেইখানে যে আমার এই জিনিসটা খুব ভালো লাগছে সাইনাইটের কাছে, যে তাদের মাইন্ডসেটটা অনেক ভালো ছিল।
আর কি
ওকে গাইস, সো
আচ্ছা,
এই পর্যন্তই। সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। আমাদের মামা গেমিং বাতেন ভাইকে ধন্যবাদ আমাদের সাথে গেস্ট হিসেবে জয়েন করার জন্য, এবং সারফরাজ ভাই, রিঙ্কু ভাই, বুচার ভাইদের তো আলাদা করে ধন্যবাদ দেওয়ার কিছু নাই, নিজেরও ধন্যবাদ দেওয়ার কিছু নাই। আমরা এখনই চলে যাব গেমে। সো গেমে দেখা হবে। তো টিল দেন, টাটা, বাই বাই।
ইনফিনিটি এন্ড সোয়েগের মাঝখানে এলএমসি একা পড়ে গেছে, একাই স্কাই শুট আছে, সাথে শুভ আছে, দুইজন মেম্বার নিয়ে এলএমসির স্কোয়াডটা মুভ করতেছে ইনফিনিটির দিকে। আনফরচুনেটলি শুভ ভাই একাই এখন বেঁচে আছে, যার হাতে পেরা পাল গানটা আমরা দেখলাম, এন্ড টিম লেকচর গান কম্বিনেশন আমার চমৎকার লাগতেছে, কারণ ওদের অনেকজনের হাতে যেমন টিম সিট আছে আমরা দেখতেছি। ইয়েস
ইয়েস রিঙ্কু ভাই, এখানে কিন্তু যেটা জিনিস বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না, সেটা হচ্ছে যে কম হইলো।
ইয়েস, এখন বলি আমরা হয়তো আমরা মিনিমাম খেয়াল করছি টিম।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Ranjit Mama, Senior Patel, and alongside me, I have the Wizard of Words. She is none other than Star Tanya. Tanya, how are you doing?
I'm doing just great, and I'm waiting for the day to begin because we have seen groups fighting amongst themselves. It was Group A, B, sometimes it was Group B, C, sometimes it was A and C. This is the first time that we're going to see all three groups performing with each other, and then alongside that, we also have no league points to work out with. So somewhere around today's day is definitely going to be a very fierce one by far.
Yep, today's day is going to be very fierce, that is for sure. But we're going to have a look at the teams playing today because, of course, these are the planes, and it is going to be a bloodbath because we already have 6 finalists that we'll talk about later on. But walking through the teams, Tanya, talk about Cyanide, GB2L, X8, Mask Boys, Riot, LMC, Eclipse, Extreme. Every single team over here is deserving of being here and qualifying for the finals. And I cannot wait to see all the action because honestly, if somebody asked me to predict who could be those teams, which could be those teams, the top 6 teams qualifying for the finals, I could not choose.
Yeah, definitely. It is way too difficult to choose amongst these 12 teams who have already faced through lots of struggles. It is not only since the league days they have been battling, it has been a very long procedure since we have seen them battling it out because they had to get into the qualifier zone, followed by 2 league systems and everything. So, yes, these all teams deserves to go into the finals, but certainly that is not possible. So, we are going to get top 6 teams. Let's see which teams are they going to be because, yes, it is Team Riot. We might see it is also Team Cyanide. We might get to see them into finals and many more. Just like you said, it is quite too unpredictable. We cannot guess it out so easily because these teams have not just easily qualified. And I'll explain you exactly how they were qualified through the tournament format, which is right in front of your screen. It is through FFC mode qualifier where 48 teams were qualified towards the closed qualifier match. Out of those, 18 teams moved ahead towards the league seasons, and today we are into the almost we are very close to the finals, one step behind the grand finals, which is grand finals planes, where we are going to get other 6 teams. So let's see which are those teams, because we cannot say those lucky 6 teams because all they are here with best of efforts, best of hard works, and everything that they have given, and they do have certainly very good potential in them to get qualified.
Yeah, they certainly do have good potential in them to get qualified, and that's not just it. You got to live up to the potential. You can't just be like, hey man, we do have the firepower on the paper, but you got to go out there and play your natural game and actually get the booyah. Get a couple of points for yourself so that you can qualify. But we're gonna have a look at the teams which have already qualified. The top 6 teams which have directly went to the grand finals, and we have Electro, Infinity, Asian EXP, obviously no doubt over there because the way they played was incredible. Jawbreakers going out there, not a surprise again. Raid and Swag. So all these teams have been playing so well, and I guess that's the reason why they actually went out there as well, directly to the finals. And top two teams from 3 groups. That is a grand total of 6 teams which have qualified. And today we're going to get the rest of the 6 teams, making it a total of 12 teams which are going to battle it out in the finals next week. So Tanya, I'm really excited to see which teams qualify, which teams don't, and which teams barely, just barely make it, because it's going to be tough. 6 teams qualifying is not going to be easy. And again, there's no league point conversion. Today is the day you got to go out there and perform, because if you don't have good games in the first 2 or 3 games, your morale is going to break. And when you start off on such a bad note, making a comeback becomes all the more difficult, because the pressure is already there, but it also affects your mentality. It also affects your, focus, and it's just difficult for you to bounce back from a situation like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Each and every team is on the bed of nails today because they have to fight it out. If they don't fight today, there's no other. I mean, for the teams who could not go through directly, they still had a chance of planes. But if not today, then there's never a chance coming up. So I'm very sure of without league conversion points, it is going to be a little tough. Previously, it was way too easy if the team had the lead of 114, 117, three-digit lead, but then other teams who were left with double digits, still the conversion would make that very easier. Today it's not the case. So let's see which team is going to perform how, because they're already ready, all set with the first match for the day of planes, which is going to be Bermuda. Bermuda used to be the play of patience, but certainly I don't think that is going to be the situation today. Everybody wants the highest of points. Each and every team will try to wind out as much as possible kill points alongside standing points. Talking about Cartulistiva, I'm already seeing 3 teams there, but only one team which is heading towards the highest resource zone. Let's see. No, they are not the only team. We are already seeing 2 teams there. One of them is Extreme X's, and alongside them it is going to be B26 Mystics. So 2 very strong teams there. Certainly the positions are still being changed. One player coming from B26 is running way too away. This scattered situation is not going to hinder at this point of time, but yes, when the zone starts to close, then this type of spread out is definitely a big no.
Yep, this type of a spreader is definitely a big no-no. But then again, they got to go there to the initial drop locations because you don't want to fight in a place where you're not well versed with. And then talking about ECL, looks like they want to go in and take a fight, and they already have weapons to work with. It's a Mag 7. I should actually like to call it the Swag 7 as well, because it just gets that additional bit of swag, especially in close range in a close environment like this. And it works out pretty well. But ECL, they're going to struggle a bit to find some weapons. The only person who actually has a weapon is Tonmoy, and maybe a throwing knife onto Maroof. But apart from that, they are definitely going to be on the run because they don't want to pick a fight without weapons. And bringing a knife to a gunfight has never been the smartest option, Tanya.
Yeah, absolutely. Melee weapons are a no once again. But I did not like the exact strategy coming from Extreme X's. They went away from the highest resource zone, landed where already one team was already here. See, now they have started losing the players. One of the player, ECL Mehdi, he has taken the first blood for this match. Let's see how far they're going to go ahead, because certainly they were going for highest resource zone. They switched their drop location just because they did not want to share the grounds. So, but yet again, they land where the grounds are already possessed by the team ECL. So they have lost one player quite too early on. Still having 3 players with them, I don't think it is much of a loss as of now. When you have to battle 3v4, you can still pick up a fight. Not with that sort of confidence when you're equal in number, but you still stand a chance.
Yep, you still stand a chance. That is for sure. But then talking about TXP, they're in a decent position for sure. They're at middle, but there is one more team coming in, which is going to be Team LMC, if I'm not mistaken, trying to close in on the distance, and they will maybe end up in a fight. But Shuo is the one leading the charge for his team, and Arthur might actually get caught off guard over there at the dispenser because he doesn't realize that the teams are already closing in, and Arthur has already been spotted. I can guarantee that. And yep, he's going to get started. He's going to be shot at, and Arthur needs to heal himself. But the shield coming up. Is this going to work out? How is he alive? I don't get this. How is he still alive? Uses the glue wall, tries to fall back, uses the inhaler as well, but Arthur trying to strike back. If he does manage to get it off, this is going to be glorious because TXB are coming back from the jaws of death, and Arthur, I don't even know how he's managing to stay alive or how he managed to get out of there, but that is a big lapse on LMC's part, and Shu would be kicking himself in the head. But baby girl, look at them. She has an M249 to work with, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually put this up, keep the fight up going on. And TXP, they are actually in a better position right now because LMC, they had the high ground, but now they have to push in. The nades coming up as well, but Arthur is going to go around the glue wall. Ali getting a first shot. Sky Shot is going to get knocked out, but Arthur's going to fall as well. Will he get finished? Yes, indeed. It does look like he might get finished over there, but LMC being wiped out. What? In the God's name was that?
Shut down.
And Arthur could not take one kill. He did not get knocked up. He did not get eliminated. And I would say LMC did miss that shot where they could have conquered that fight. Unfortunately for Team LMC, they could not battle it out. They got a little late in terms of shooting. And that is how the advantage was bagged over here coming from Team TXB, eliminating the existence. And Arthur still safe with 0 kill. That is humongous for Arthur because winning it out this way, I would say this was sheer luck. Otherwise, he was spotted very easily. Yes, he did use the Chrono Shield right on time. So he was way more vulnerable at that time, because Chrono also tend to expose you quite too easily. He was exposed about where the location is of the Spur Arthur, and he still manages to rush back, save himself. The team wins the battle without losing a single player. First battle was mere entertainment.
Yeah, it was absolute chaos and a lot of entertainment for sure. But I do believe there was a little more than luck involved. Because, hey, I understand that the first time he used a Chrono Shield, he shouldn't have survived, which he did. He got inside the warehouse, he started getting shot at, but then he turned around 180 degrees, deployed that glue wall, which was so pivotal in keeping him alive. Having the presence of mind of using the inhaler and not a first aid kit, that's definitely skill. So I do believe there was a lot more than luck involved over there. But then at the end of the day, TXP came out on top, and Arthur definitely has to be the MVP for the entire match for that team, because had it not been for that fight, they would have already lost out on a man, and in a 4v3 situation, it's not easy to come back. But then again, talking about EXE and the fight which is going on right now, Hamim is being shot at from 2 different directions and isn't going to survive. Does switch out to the shotgun, and he can actually go out there and take this fight. He might actually get the knock. Does he get the knock? No, he does not. Voila taking him down, and then the backup coming in was so quick. Zico is going to try and use the inhaler, try and push out, maybe, just maybe survive, but that's not going to be possible. He does get the first knockdown. Can he find the second? Is the question. Knock has been knocked on. Zico trying to stay alive, but he will get knocked out eventually, because 1v2 in a situation like this is practically impossible. But then again, Kazi coming back, I think that was a mistake. Oh, he does get the first knock, but will quickly get taken down, and Extreme EX is going to fall at position number 11. And I do believe this fight was unnecessary coming from him, but then again, I guess he just wanted to try and guarantee a couple of kills and maybe, just maybe clutch it out. But given the numbers disadvantage, it was not easy.
It was definitely not easy. The landing positions, maybe they did have those resources, those loot to pick up the fight, but certainly there was nothing that was pushing them. They went ahead, picked up a fight, and ended up losing all 3 players, indeed getting eliminated. But at this point of time, I'm seeing 4 teams already over here. The best of position is for none, because yes, I do see B26 is having the advantage of height. But when you talk about this ridge cover, Team Xenon is definitely going to make sure that they use. And there's one more player, Arthur, and yeah, he does have something more than luck. I would not deny to the fact, but once again, he is rushing in the jaws of death. Let's see if he's going to survive yet again. Fighting shots are already on. Arthur with his double vector is also trying to initiate the fight, and then comes the team support. One player who is Shefat, who is already spotted down. Let's see how is the kill going to get confirmed. Shupan is little more than worried to move out of that exact zone, save his teammate, and in the attempt, he is down as well. It is all up to Ananto now how they decide, because alongside Ananto, it is also Al-Amin who will definitely try to save their teammate. But are they going to be successful? No, Shupan is not saved. He is left to die. And yes, the kill is also getting confirmed real soon. Al-Amin and Ananto take a fallback, realizing that exact positions have been revealed coming with the UAV exposing their positions. Let's see how are they going to move ahead, because they have picked up a split 1-1. So that is once again not advisable, because Al-Amin escaping from this fight, maybe wherever they land, he has to face 1v4.
That is true. 1v4 is not going to be easy. But then again, B26, they're off to a flying start. They have all the 4 players alive. They have 2 kills, but TXB, even better, they finished an entire squad and they've not lost even 1 player. And even now, if you look at them, they're going to take down the Nonto from XN, and that's just going to be so unfortunate. Zenon are going to lose out on a player, and Nonto is just going to be kicking himself, because he was out there all alone, and he shouldn't have been there alone. That's the first and the foremost thing. Why do you want to split up? If you have your teammates to work with, why would you want to go out there and play alone? So that is one thing I will never understand unless you're trying to scout. But then again, there was nobody else from his team that was around him. So I don't even believe that was a scout. But nonetheless, TXP, well, the last player, Baby Girl, they're going to try and get out of the danger zone so that they don't fall. We've seen a lot of times in intense fights, in tournaments, that players have been getting knocked or they've been finished off by the danger zone. And that's just unfortunate, right? Because imagine being in a professional environment where you're playing against the best of the best players in your country or in your region, as a matter of fact, and then being taken down by the danger zone.
Yeah, that would be a little funny from viewer side, but very pathetic for the players who are dying into the danger zone. So I'm very sure of during the players, none of the teammates or players whatsoever would want that sort of death. So they're all safe at this point of time. Talking about Alamin, though, the race for safe zone or indeed the saving yourself all solo for the standing points, it is going to be good deal. He is farthest away from the circle as well, and there's nobody to give a there's nobody to give a backstab. So now all he has to do is save himself until maybe top 3, 4, or 5, until and unless it is Team Ambush Esports who does the gatekeeping so well that Alamin gets spotted in and gets eliminated. Talking about ETL, though, yes, this is the team with 1 kill, no loss of players, quite strong at this point of time. And let's see how are they going to move ahead, because certainly they have to pick up a fight, and against them it is going to be Team One Man. We have seen Team One Man picking up fight against Extreme X's. They have totally eliminated that team, and now they are going to pick up fight. Firing shots are starting to exchange. One player is already spot, that is going to be Kiddo. Kiddo is also losing some HP, but fair enough, he takes a fall back and he's going to heal up real soon.
Yep, he is going to heal up real soon, that is for sure. But ECL, I think they need to calm down a bit. Just, make sure that the fight they're taking, they have an advantage, at least not at a disadvantage. And right now, they do have the upper ground. They're at the edge of the zone. I don't think they need to rotate until the zone comes in. But of course, it's still yet the second zone, and the third zone will be moving in a bit. So they'll have to wait it out. And Pochinok actually has 2 teams. They have Cyanide, and they actually have Team One Man, which is also a brilliant team. So, all the teams playing in the plains are not teams you can take lightly. And then again, they're going to punish you. If you make one mistake, they're going to punish you. And that is exactly what TXP did over there. Because then again, their player was out there in the open, was being shot at, but then they made a comeback. So if you give them an opening, they are definitely going to violate that. But apart from that, I believe Cyanide can actually do a better job with the rotation in this game.
Yes, Cyanide team indeed is taking a very good and long rotation. The thing is, all they want is standing points, because we know the firepower of Team Cyanide. When they go into the final circle, they take a split of 50-50 if all 4 players are alive, and they pick up fight in all directions and end up getting very good amount of kills. So maybe once again, they're following the same typical strategy of Team Cyanide, not wanting to engage into fight so early on. But I'm afraid if they are going ahead, I already see one of the team that is waiting for them, which is going to be Eclipse TRB. Even after not wanting to pick up fight, there's one more team right in front of them waiting, or maybe it is not an exact gatekeeping situation that we can say, but certainly they have to pick up fight. If they go right, they have to fight against Team Riot, and we know Team Riot, we've seen them performing. Team Riot completely, when they pick up the rush that they have within them, it is all that they go for the complete elimination of the opponents. And this is the basic battle royale. You want to eliminate. And I'm talking about the firepower, we are already seeing some firing shots, not from team number 10, which is Riot, but from other team, which is Eclipse TRB. And Riot is also, so somewhere this team was trying to go as safe as possible. Team Cyanide is getting attacked from both the directions.
But Team Cyanide is definitely being attacked from both the directions, that is for sure. But then again, we have Ahnaf, who's taking a couple of shots. Tonboy, in the meantime, with the SKS, is going to find a frag for himself. Fireman is going to be eliminated. He actually finished him. He didn't wait. And Team Zenon are going to be eliminated. That was quick. But then again, they lost a player out there in the open without a trade. And this is what is going to happen. Given their approach in the game, it's surprising they made it to the top 10 as well. But Ahnaf is still going to try and take a couple of shots. There are players outside the zone and then deploying that clue, or just torturing the opposition. He doesn't want to go in. He doesn't even want to let Spartan be revived over there. But Blade is not going to be able to survive for long over there. Unless a nade goes in, he's going to be taken down in the next 10 seconds or so. And because Zone is dishing out damage for sure, he doesn't even have a lot of HP to work with. But Shuo just trying to make sure that he is providing cover to his teammates who are trying to rotate in. And Blade is probably going to go down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you go. He's being shot at. The nades, well, I mean, Shuo does have a nade, but it won't go that far. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem. And now Team Riot, after doing gatekeeping of Team Cyanide, they're picking up fight against Team One Man, and Alvi gets knocked down, firing shots into such an open area with no hard cover. Not even glue wall used. It was a risky move because they realized that now there's nobody coming from behind. They want to make the most use of it, and going to such an extent where you're not very sure of that you can confirm such kill. They lost a player very early on, and Team One Man, they have already initiated giving damage to other teammates as well. Maruf with very low HP. Now this time around. Blue walls are definitely used. Now 2 players are rushing alongside. Kunok is taking some damage, and the rotation coming from other player, and it was the hard rush coming from team one man. One player is already down. Shuo is also knocked down, and Arnaf is down. Now it is all up to Maruf. How is Maruf going to save his teammate, or are they going to fight again? But now all they got to do is save their teammates, because yes, the team one man who engaged themselves so harshly, they are all eliminated.
They definitely are all eliminated, that is for sure. But then, talking about TXP, look at them. This is playing so well. They have 5 kills for themselves. They are in a good position within the zone, inside cover at Carriton. And all they need to do is just be patient, because I do believe the zone is going to work out for them. And this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant, because when Team AE tries to push in, Ambush Esports are actually going to be the ones being ambushed over there, because Hamim is not going to stop shooting. He does have the M24 and won't even have to reload for the longest time. But I don't think Hamim realized that there was a player, Nitrox, waiting for him. But Mask Boys are going to get eliminated at position number 7. And now it all comes down to the top 6 teams. And all these 6 teams are vying for the bottom 6 slot in the grand final, so they can go out there and prove themselves to be the champions of Free Fire Bangladesh. But nonetheless, Tonmoy is going to try and push in. Does have a shotgun. The nades are going to pop out, but the glue walls in such numbers. What? Newbie with the nail launcher. He does get the first 2 knocks, but then ECL, they are in for a pinch right now, because they've lost out on 2 players who shot. The nail launch again going in. And Tonmoy, okay then. That was quick.
That is definitely quick. B26, a total of 8 kills already. Grenade launchers confirming the kill. So counting out 8, it is already now 9 kills. And now top 5 teams are surrounding over here on the edge of the circle. 1 more kill getting confirmed. This is the first team to reach the double-digit number. Are they going to qualify within top 3 range? Because there's still one player who is giving some firing shots. And no, he could not give such firing shots that could have eliminated even a single player coming from Team B26. So at this point of time, all 4 players alive and kicking. 11 kills already confirmed, and on the edge of the circle as well, where 2 teams are already waiting, one of which is Team Riot. Team Riot only has 2 players playing, but if we talk about other team, which is Ambush Esports, all 4 players are intact. So now it is their time to pick up a decision. They have to fight it out on which angle, and definitely they are going to go ahead with Ambush Esports. Certainly, circles takes a shift, and no more TXB team is within the safe area or within the circle. Now they have to make sure they reach the circle quite too safely without losing any numbers. And also Ali has spotted certain enemies, and he is trying to give some damage. Let's see, are they going to give any let's see if he's able to pick up any knocks or no.
If he can pick up any knocks or no, but we have 4 teams right now, and they're all going to try and battle it out to try and get that victory for themselves. But there's 2 more minutes on the clock. TXB will have to start moving in, because they're playing at the extreme edge of the zone. They do have I wouldn't exactly call it a man advantage, but they do have 4 men alive, and that can definitely work out in the favor. But B26 is definitely the kill leader. Ali is waiting it out. He does have a Groza, but he needs to be patient. They have solid cover. The glue walls being popped out as well. So B26, are they going to strike back? Oh, B26 actually has 11 kills. That's a lot.
Yeah, definitely that's a lot. But now Shots is knocked down. Are they going to save them, or are they going to reach for the safe zone? That is what I said. Circle took such a strong shift. All they had to do is save their numbers and reach within the circle. And now Bladers is also down. So yes, they are going to lose certain numbers at this point of time. Light Out definitely giving best of possible, confirms 1 more kill. So they have total of 12 kills, but it costed them total of 2 players, which was definitely not worth of trade. 6 players still surviving, 2 from each team, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see how and Nitrox is knocked down as well, and firing shots are still on. How successful are these shots going to be? Chrono Shields helps them to revive the teammate, and still Nubi doesn't want to let them stand on their feet again, giving the best of the shots possible, trying to eliminate as early as possible. What a shot! Once again, they are getting knocked over here, and I think this time around Nitrox will not be revived, and Ambush Esports are totally ambushed. Now we are down to 2v2 situation.
We are down to 2v2. I actually make that a 1v2, because Ali does get a knock for himself, and now he's going to try and push in, but is B26 going to be able to strike back? Okay, then we do have Light Out going out there, getting the first knock. Can he find the second for himself? No, he cannot. And TXB always coming back from the jaws of death, somehow managing to get the last kill, the final blow, and they go out there and get the booyah. And this is a team that we actually saw in the first fight, barely surviving, barely getting out of their life, and then finally going at the end of the game, going out there and getting a booyah. So the tables turn really quickly, but it's commendable to see the kind of focus, commitment, and will they had to go out there and actually walk away with a booyah.
Yeah, they did walk away with the booyah. At one point of time, I felt that maybe B26 is going to take away the booyah when he did push it in. One player was down, but then comes 1v1 situation where I don't exactly recollect the name who was alive, but he made sure to eliminate B26. Though B26 getting eliminated, they did pick up total of 13 kills, Mamba, which is way too much for the first match, because usually the first match is a warm up kind of match. If they're showing this sort of kills into very early on, I don't know how far they going to go ahead with the same plays coming up from them.
Well, I mean, if they went out this far in the first game, I think it's actually a pretty smart strategy, as you mentioned, and rightly so, that it's a warm-up sort of a match. The first map is usually the one that actually sets the tone, but we're gonna have a look at the replays first. And while we talk about the replays, I want to explain what I think of game number one. First game sets the tone, sets the mood, and I believe that the way they played is definitely stamping their authority, making sure that all the other teams know for a fact that you don't have if you see TXB in the opposition, run away.
Yeah, definitely. Just run away. I like the play of Arthur. I just felt that he was playing with the luck, but no, indeed, he's one of the best scout for his team, best flanker alongside, because it was not only once that he flanked out. We also saw how nicely they picked up fight against GB12, and they won that battle also. So somewhere around, Arthur's work is not to take the kills, but go for the scouting, go for the flanking, and get the best of kills. And right now, as you're already seeing, he's also confirming the knocks taken by his teammates. But this time around, if we talk about Team Cyanide, I don't know what sort of rotation did they have in their mind where they landed up picking up fights from both the teams and got eliminated. Also, there was Blue Zone was giving lots of damage to the team. Talking about Team Riot, though, they won this battle with two man still standing on the field. This was good, and this is the point where Team One Man lost the battle. Somewhere around they went with the kills, and this was the grenade launcher which Newbie gave. Two players were knocked down, and yes, when two players are already down, circle is closing in. There's lots of panic coming in. Alongside panic, there was some other grenade launcher attacks that was also rushing in when various other players were also knocked down. At this point of time, they only had 8 kills, but then they made sure they eliminated the total existence of Team ECL. Alongside that, also GB12 Esports, they had total of 12 kills.
Yeah, they definitely had a total of 12 kills, that is for sure. But then talking about Newbie, though, the way he played towards the end, the nade work coming in from B26 was so good. But then they couldn't really make it work. They had 13 kills, and I do believe that even though they couldn't get the booyah, they will actually still be on the top at the points of the points table when it actually does come out, because that's a difference of what, 5 kills or more, and that's the point difference between position 1 and position 2 according to the new point system is just 3 points. If you get a booyah, you get 20 points, and actually no, 12 points if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 12, and second team gets 9. So just a 3-point difference, and the kill difference is very well going to make up for it.
Yeah, and all thanks to Baby Girl, who managed to pick this final shot and jump and shoot was the action coming from her, which just landed on point. With the head shot, she took away the booyah. So all the way, yes, all teammates were playing very nice. But yes, if Baby Girl wouldn't have taken this kind of shot, they would have lost this booyah. 3 points does matter, Mamba. The reason is this time around, we are not going to get any conversion at all. So each and every point is going to matter because there's no league point conversion. So if 3 points if they are in lead at 3 points, that is good to see. Somewhere around, still B26 is going to pick them. They are not allowing this team to take position 1. They had total of 13 kills. So yes, kill counts does matter as well. So overall, B26 is still going to be on position 1 even after not winning away this booyah.
They are going to be on the first position, but of course we're going to move into the next game because it's almost ready. So why don't we head on into Purgatory and see what happens in game number 2, because I'm really excited to see how the teams bounce back, and especially TXP. Are they going to carry on with the reign of terror? Is it going to be 26 which bounces back, or is it going to be someone completely different? Because this map does not follow logic at all.
Yeah, this map is now turning into no logic at all, and now this is the team ECL who is trying to land into the southern land, where already 3 teams are landing, and highest resource zone moat house is going to be isolated. I don't think anybody is even willing to go over there. Yes, each and every team is almost landed. Brasilia, though, turning into the rainbow colors. Already 4 teams are landing, and fight is already picked up between two teams near to the Mount Villa. Two players are already down, and it is Shifat and Ananto. I don't think they are going to to get Savior, and alongside that, I also see Alamin getting down. It is all up to Shupan. All he got to do is save himself, run away, because if he doesn't do, the existence of Team Xenon is going to be zero. So it's better he just uses the zip line, and yes, he did. He is going to save himself at least some standing points. Getting eliminated in trying to revive the teammates, well, it made no sense to me. So yes, this is what you have to do. This is so hard decision to be taken, Mamba. To be honest, you have to leave your teammates dying just to get some standing points. My heart breaks at such situations.
Well, my heart does break as well, but I guess I've been hardened by the rigors of playing a battle royale game, especially Free Fire. I've been in multiple situations where I had to leave my teammate behind. Well, my teammate actually had to leave me behind. And as much as you want to fight the opposition and save a teammate, sometimes you just gotta do the less obvious thing, and that is go and play for position points. Because if you go and try and take the fight, which is certain death, coming back from a position like that is almost impossible. I'm not saying it is absolutely impossible. Of course, you can go out there and win a fight, but maybe you're going to win a fight once every 50 fights, 1 in 50 times, and that's not worth the odds.
Yeah, that is not worth the odds, and everybody wants standing points when you realize that you don't have weapon to fight with, you don't have any resources to heal yourself back, and that is what you have to do, which was perfectly on Team Xenon side. But if you talk about Team Cyanide, previously they made a mistake of taking longer rotation. This time they did land and on the perfect placement, which is central. They are sharing the grounds with the team LMC. Yes, we did see some fights in previous match coming from LMC. So these are the two teams which could not bag much from the previous match, but maybe this time around one of the team is going to get 4 kills for sure, because they are not going to move outside of central location without eliminating the opponents unless opposition team decides to just take a fallback without picking up fight, which is not going to be the scenario, because the fireman is definitely trying to spot out any enemies possible, and one of the players is also coming from Team LMC, and he isn't quite too open, getting spotted very easily, gets knocked down. Shuo is definitely trying to rush and save his teammate. Is he going to be successful though? Because if we talk about Akib, he has already spotted several other players. He wants to make sure that they confirm as many knockers as possible. Somewhere around, Akib gets spotted rushing into the open, did not give the results which they wanted to. Akib is also going to get revived. The reason is it is a mid-range fight. You don't get immediate results over here.
That is true, but talk about LMC though. They're on the rooftop. They want to take this fight, which I'm not sure if it's a good idea. Oh, good shot coming in from Sparking, connecting the headshot. And the first shot accuracy on this weapon, on this player as well, because you got to be accurate. I mean, sure, there is aim assist. It does lock on to players, but then you got to drag it. You got to drag your aim upwards so that you can make the headshot. And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's counterintuitive, but it works. There is Extreme who's trying to take a couple of shots, maybe hitting his own glue wall in the process. I believe he should fall back, because if that glue wall goes down, he's not going to live for very long.
Yeah, definitely he couldn't have lived any longer. But if there was any Skylar this time around, it would have definitely changed the situation. Blue walls would have been exhausted totally, and you could have confirmed the kills very easily. But at this point of time, without Skylar as well, they have managed to take one knock, and that kill has already been confirmed. If we talk about Spartan, he has to take a fight into 1v2 situation. Is he going to be successful though? No, he could not. He's already knocked down, and now Akib, and it is all chaos. Shuo is already down. He will be revived though. 1 kill is confirmed. So Central is definitely no more Central. It is turning into a cemetery.
Double kill.
It is turning into a cemetery, but that's quite a way to say it, because it's supposed to be a city. Imagine a place where there are fights breaking out. I can't think about it, but Cyanide is going to get eliminated at position number 12. And LMC, they have an entire squad in their name because they have 4 kills. But Team 1 man, as a matter of fact, they're going to be running away from a fight. It's not very like Team TO, right? Because every time they've had an opportunity to go out there and pick a fight, they've always done it. But this time around, though, they are trying to fall back.
Time around, Team Extreme X's have not decided to go into the blue circle. Indeed, they have decided to just stay where they can get maximum of kills, because last time when they switched their drop location, they had to suffer a lot. They lost 1 player early on, and then picking up the fight against Team One Man, they were completely eliminated. At this point of time, they have got a very good spot. One of the player is Kazi, who is holding Sniper Tower, the best of position. The reason is they can keep an eye beyond the river front. They can also keep a good watch if there there's any backstab coming in. So for now, Kazi is man of the match. He needs to make sure that he keeps an eye very nicely. But if we talk about Team Mars, we could not see much of fights coming from this team in the previous match. But this time around, they've already confirmed one kill against them. It is Team One Man and Mullah taking a fallback. Maybe they lost one player in this fight itself. Let's see how are they going to go ahead, because Team Mask, I don't think they are going to have a fallback even after UAVs moving above their head. There's nobody to reveal, there's nobody to expose their position to, so it is all safe and good to go for Team Mask at this point of time.
It is all good to go for Team Mask at this point in time, but talking about the sniper tower, right? Sure, it's a good position. You can get a lot of information, but then at the same, ooh, look at Jibon though, taking those shots. The Chrono Shield is good. Wait, what? That was unfortunate. The Woodpecker being so effective from so far out is incredible to see. But the point I was trying to make was, sure, the Watchtower is a good place to hide out at because you get so much information. That also exposes you from so many angles, because the more information you get, the more information you're giving away as well, because you need to be that aggressive to get that amount of information. So it's a double-edged sword. You got to be able to use it in a proper manner, and it's very situational. I think it's too situational, especially in a fight where you're at the riverbank, because behind you there's a high ground, in front of you there's a river. But let's have a look at the scoreboard once and see which is the team on top. As I rightly mentioned, B26 on top with 22 points because they actually had more number of kills, and even though they did not actually, go out there and get the booyah, the kills very well make up for it.
Oh yeah, kills did make them make sure that they were on position 1, so kills does matter. But if we talk about Ambush Esports, they have managed to take 3 kills at this point of time. And the position, if we talk about this team, it is a split of 50-50, which is a good split, fair split. Even if the players get knocked down, you can easily revive them. But Kazi is still there, keeping a hawk eye on this team. If the zone is not favoring this team, Ambush Esports, Kazi would definitely not love an easy entry to this team, because all they will be left with, take an entry through the water route, which is one of the most difficult entry. We don't know exactly where the zone shift will take place, but yes, we exactly know where Team Extreme X's are trying to take a rotation. They are entering the safe zone without any difficulty, and they are going for the Brasilia. It is the heart of purgatory. And we also have the MVP, which is none other than Baby Girl. So the words which I said, Baby Girl, it is all due to Baby Girl. They took the booyah. A perfect headshot coming from this Baby Girl was just beautiful. And it is, alongside, it is also good to see that it is female player playing coming from Bangladesh. We know it since the league days, but yes, being the MVP is definitely a different level of enthusiasm.
That is true. It is good to see that, the stereotypes are being broken. The community is growing at such a pace, because I remember back in the day, if you go back 10 years, maybe even 12 years, we barely had gamers. And then even if there were gamers, the community was so small, you knew everyone. And most of them were guys. But then seeing the stereotypes being broken, I'm loving it. I love the diversity that Free Fire has actually brought into esports. So it's good to see players going out there and performing. So, well, props to that. We have B26 just waiting it out, being very patient. They don't want to overcommit. And I think that's a good idea as well. You gotta play slow and only take a fight when you're confident that you have that upper hand. But Bladers, he has a sniper to work with. Is it going to go out there and peek? I don't think so. Nubi is going to be there to give some backup. Oh, breaking that barrel, but well, nothing's going to happen because there are no players around the barrel. And I think it would be pretty stupid as well to just stand behind the barrel.
Yeah, absolutely. Are they picking up the fight? Yes, they are. Trying Nubi, taking a lot of damage, and now deciding to take a fall back. But if you talk about Bladers, he is trying to get the perfect headshot, get a knocker. He's not getting the successful. He did try twice, but yes, it was not successful enough to get the knocker. But let's see this time around. Nubi is trying to flank out. Is this flank going to be successful? Because taking a longer rotation is equal to getting knocked easily, because we all very well know that there's no hard cover if you move out of this house, out of this wooden house. Certainly deciding realizing that if I move out of here, 4 players are going to shoot me down. And yes, there's no chance to get the revival. Talking about Baby Girl, she's trying to get the perfect window view this time around. No kills at all. Marble Works is the location. Quite slow fight. They're waiting for the right time when they're very sure of that. Yes, this is the time. Let's rush in and eliminate the opponents. But for whom those elimination is going to be taken, that is going to be a question, because both the teams are going with the same strategy.
Both the teams are definitely going with the same strategy. But B26 are playing so passive. The amount of kills they had the last time around, and this time there's a stark contrast, and that's the reason why I say Purgatory is not where predictions work, and you never know which team goes out there and performs very well, which team actually fails to perform. I wouldn't call B26 failing at performing right now because they have all the players alive. It's just a different approach. They played aggressive the last time. This time around, they might as well just try and play a little more passive.
Yeah, they are, because these are the top two teams fighting it out to get qualified. Top six are only going to get that easy entry, and if they get eliminated at position 11, either of the team, the easy top six is going to be way more difficult. So I don't think anybody would want to rush in except for when third party fights would initiate, because through the mini map, all I see is just two teams not wanting to engage at all, playing it safe, going passive, and yes, there's nothing pushing them to pick up the fight. And Nubi risking himself, moving out of the wooden house, going towards the summon airdrop, safely re-enters over here. They are just trying to create chaos or maybe confuse the opponents by giving the footworks. But certainly Team 3XP is already aware about such mimics or gimmicks going ahead. They are also not wanting to put any sort of efforts here. Talking about GB2L, they are trying to enter the circle and they are already in near to the Marble Works. So if you talk about Marble Works, Mamba, now I'm not going to say that Marble Works is going to be symmetry real soon, but yes, we are going to see bloodbath here with several teams trying to get into the cluster format. So let's see, if we talk about UAV, it has exposed total of 4 teams already, 3 teams indeed. It is going to be 3 teams, one of which is Team XB, followed by B26 Mystics, and it is Ambush Esports. The firing shots which are delayed since so long certainly are not delayed anymore. Light out, using as much of glue walls. He is into the cocoon of glue walls. Let's see how successful is he going to be here.
Yep, and the UAV actually came in. That gave out so much information. It was a party pooper for a lot of teams with Nubi going in and trying to get a knock for himself. But can he actually find it though? That is going to be the question. The danger zone coming in, and half the circle's actually covered in red. And how difficult is it going to be for all these teams to survive out there? Because they need to stay inside cover. And honestly, if I was in place of these teams, I would actually use this as an opportunity, a high risk, high reward situation to go out there and rotate, and that is exactly what Lightout is doing. I love the approach coming in from Lightout, but he's going to fall back. I do believe he's going to fall back and go in cover, but he could have pushed out maybe half the element of surprise, but we still have 11 teams left, Tanya. 11 teams. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it is Purgatory, and usually this is not the scene. I think once again the play of patience is on in Purgatory, because nobody is willing to pick up fight, because nobody is wanting to lose. They just don't want to pick up any sort of chance where they might get eliminated. But Kunok is down already, and let's see how are they going to save him. Nope, there's no chance they could have saved them. So Team One Man with 2 players remaining, 0 kills, and they are already onto the edge of the circle. So yes, there's nothing that is pushing them, but certainly they can gatekeep one of the teams, which is going to be Extreme X's. Let's see, are they going to be successful though? There was nothing to take a fallback, but they did decide to move out of the sniper tower, and now where they are going, there's already one team that might wait for them or also gatekeep them. The team is going to be Team Riot.
Yep, that team is going to be Team Riot for sure, but then we have Ambush Esports still surviving this time around. 14.5 minutes on the clock, but we still have 11 teams live. It's going to be a cluster of a fight coming in, but now Team Zenon being eliminated over there. Talking about Ambush Esports, they have all 4 players alive. Riot as well, as a matter of fact. Shua needs to go, and he's taking so much damage from the zone, but he's going to take a shot, and I do believe he can actually wait it out and maybe take a couple of shots, but they need to be quick on their feet, and maybe a little bit of teamwork coming in. The glue walls being chewed through. Shua not stopping. He wants to go on, keep on shooting, but the nades going in. Oh, that actually worked.
Mula is down now, last man standing. Let's see if Anaf is going to eliminate that last man standing, and they have managed to get the flashbang on. He is already blinded, but still survived quite too long. But certainly Team One Man is finally eliminated. Talking about Riot, 3 kills are confirmed. Talking about Team Extreme X's, 3 kills are confirmed as well, and they are already not too far away from the circle, so there's nothing as of now that is pushing them except for Kazi, still very away from the teammates. Is this flanking out extending to such a limit is going to pay off any rewards, or he's going to get eliminated? But before that, it is Team ECL picking up some fights, and Zone is going to close in real soon. So yes, they have to make sure they clear the path to take an easy entry, and that path is coming from Team LMC, who are already moving ahead, where they have managed to take one player down. Let's see how successful are they going to get the kill confirmed. And no, they're not able to confirm the kill. The player, baby girl who was down, is already revived, and this time around Extreme is down and Parking also down. Now they are down to 2 players. The kills are getting confirmed.
Look at that, the glue wall falling down so quickly because of the nade coming. Sky Shooter is trying to stay alive so hard, but he's not going to be able to stay alive long. He's stuck in a corner, does have a glue wall. Can he get out of the window in time though? That is going to be the question. Dark Cruz, in the meantime, helping his teammates, being surrounded by teams. 8 teams and just 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Which team is going to be coming out on top? We'll find out in a bit. But B26, they still have all 4 players alive, but only 2 kills in their favor. So this time around, it's been a fairly passive approach, but they definitely have a chance to go out there and get the booyah.
Yeah, they definitely stand a chance over here, and certain kills alongside, because they are trying to fight out against Team ECL. It is a long range fight, though the players might get revived, but if they don't have the chance to get the revival, maybe the kills can get confirmed at this point of time. This time they are fighting against GB2L. GB2L is already fighting against Team Riot, so now all Team B26 has to do is get 3 kills if possible. But yes, not bagging 3 kills is never too easy, and now the last man standing for Team Riot. Let's see how far can he go, how long can he survive, and yes, he does survive, but is he going to be successful enough to give revive to his teammates? Because over there already the revival play is coming on from GB2L's esports.
And the revive play is coming in from GB2L esports, that is true, but Thornmark is going to try and push in, he's going to get taken down. Now it all comes down to Romjan. Is going to stay alive? No, that is not going to happen. Eclipse being taken down, and B26, they're wrecking havoc over here. The newbie is going to get backstab, he's going to fall on. Shots actually going down as well. It's going to come down to Bladers and Light Out. Light Out is going to be able to help his teammate. I don't think so. He's going to go and try. Sorry, he's going to try and go inside. But Ghazi, in the meantime, look at him. He, along with his teammate, the Cruz is being fired at from multiple different directions. But B26, the other kill leaders right now, the question is, are they going to be... Oh, they actually did manage to revive the player. That's brilliant.
Saving your teammates does matter, being the final circle and last minute to play with. If we talk about Extreme X's with 3 players, they are also quite too strong. So it is only 1 player who is Duck Cruz. Either what he can do is save himself until these 2 teams fights out, and he stands the chance to get into the position too. But Zone wouldn't allow that easy victory, and Zone eliminates him. Let's see how his Blader is going to go ahead through the glue walls. He did get one of the knock confirmed for himself, and now he's going to go ahead with the second one. Teammates are certainly starting to rush it out, wants to end this match as early as possible. We did see B26 try to play passive, but this time around they don't want to go passive anymore, and Extreme X's are eliminated. B26 initiated the gameplay, trying to play as passive as possible, but ultimately as the zone closed in, they managed to give revive to the last man, to the third man standing, and they fight out against the opponents, successfully taking away the booyah. So somewhere around, the play of patience definitely worked in their favor.
Yep, the patience definitely worked out in the favor. And I didn't mention, they've been very, very patient this game. And it wasn't like they were trying to go aggressive or they tried extra hard to be passive. They just made sure they were taking the right decisions. And I do believe that is the most important thing. Your decision-making process is the single most important thing in a game like this, where there are multiple teams and not just like a couple, like a team or 2. 11 other teams that you're playing with. The zone keeps on getting smaller and smaller, and there's no way for you to predict the zone. Sure, there are a couple of things you can do to try and relatively be closer to the zone, even if you're outside. But then again, it's brilliant decision making on their part, and of course, we're gonna have a look at the replays as well, Tanya, and see how it all turned out to be. So why don't you walk us through this?
Oh yeah, sure. LMC, this is the fight they did initiate to pick up, but before that, the perfect gatekeeping strategy coming from Team Riot, where they successfully eliminated Mola, and there was a flashbang coming in here. Flashbang was thrown, and after this point of time, he was not aware that it was Kiddo standing behind him. He could have picked the fight, but certainly he was flashbanged, and then Riot, with a total of 3 kills, managed to eliminate. LMC, 2 players did start initiating the fight with the grenade launcher. They did manage to take 1 knocker. Sky Shoot could not last any longer. He gets eliminated. B26 picking up the pace at this point of time, because this is when Newbie got knocked out and eliminated. Shots, I felt that he would not be revived because Zone was also closing in. Then we shrunk down to 6 man standing. Bladers taking the responsibility into his hands, taking first knock, followed by the second, and then comes 16 support from Shots, who confirmed the kills and took away the Booyah. Looked very smooth, looked very flawless, but yes, it was not so flawless. They had to plan it out, being purgatory, and they were a total of 6 teams into the Marble Works. They survived. They managed to go that passive, which is not so basic of Team B26.
Yeah, but it is not so basic of B26. But then again, sometimes you're going to fight your instinct of going out there, pushing the opposition. And, the most crucial part over there was actually not even the Booyah, but the fact that when they had to go out there and revive their player, they managed to do it. And, having a player not outside the zone and going outside the zone and actually reviving them is not that easy as it looks. And that was brilliant. I do believe the presence of mind on that team was very good towards the end, especially the last 2 zones, and the way they played was brilliant. And that's how they walked away with the Booyah. So congratulations to them. But of course, these were the first 2 games. We still have 4 more games to go. And looking at the action we've had, Tanya, I'm pretty excited. The fever is rising, the temperature is rising. So I'm going to go get myself a cooler. And in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can go out and grab your snacks because we are going to go on a really, really short break. But do not go anywhere. We will be back with live action.
It's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Small break is over. 2 matches are already down, but alongside me it is going to be OG the low-race chicken for the next 2 matches. OG, we had seen the consistency coming from B26, how they did not get to win the Booyah in first round and then challenging the opponents, taking away the Booyah, though not same amount of kills, just as in Bermuda. But still, I don't think they are going to get any shake from here on if this is the consistency they are going to show.
Yeah, exactly, Tanya. A good start for both Team B26 Mystics and Team XB, both having real good performances in Map 1 and Map 2 respectively. This is consistency at its best, right? Now, they've gotten a good start at the day, and you just got to hope that they are able to maintain this. Of course, in the past, we have seen a lot of
hiccups when it comes to consistently getting good placements and good booyahs, which has allowed a lot of underdog victories, you know. Let's quickly have a look at the map recap to get all our viewers up to speed. Of course, we did have Team XB win out the booyah in map 1 of Bermuda, and B26 Mystics right back at it, winning the map, winning Purgatory, and with that map victory, I think they have a pretty solid position on the top of the leaderboard, Tanya.
Yeah, definitely. They do confirm that it is solidified so firmly that nobody is able to shake that. But talking about the next map, OG, it is going to be Kalahari, the leaderboard changer. So now this is the match that I always it is a big threat to all the players, because this is the game changer map. Every time they enters into the Kalahari, they are not very sure of how they are going to land up for the future. The zone shifts are way too terrible compared to other two maps. Maybe Bermuda, maybe Purgatory, but Kalahari is definitely the deadliest one if we compare the zone shifts. And the advantages sometimes turns into such a big disadvantage. The circle shifts makes that height disadvantage to such a cruel situation where they are not able to move ahead, not able to go behind. It is just a well and valley situation. Let's see if those are any teams who get stuck into this situation, or it is going to be Grappling Hugan, the savior of this map.
Well, I'm actually real glad that you brought up that point regarding the height and verticality with the grapple gun. It's something that's really special to Kalahari Day, right? Where that verticality plays all the difference in the world. And of course, with how the circles work and the trajectory of the plane, it does cause a huge impact in way of how people play towards the middle segment of the round. Something that I am looking forward to is a good bit of sniper action. We know that Kalahari is a map where it's a lot of open fields, open desert. I think covers about 60% of the map. So it does bring a lot of long range engagements, which you don't see much in Free Fire, but whenever you do see any action, it is rewarding. We do have the map up. This is going to be map 3, ladies and gentlemen. This map, like you said, Tanya, it helps in trying to get that element of randomness into the picture, where it allows a lot of teams who might be off with a slow start to get back on action and back on heat. Let's see how this map pans out. I am pumped to see if B26 Mystics can continue their good fortune.
Let's see, are they going to go ahead with the same? Because certainly Stonebridge, the place where they have, I was expecting some of the teams going there. The reason is highest resource zone. No teams want to end up taking fight any early on. They are trying to go as safe as possible, but then deciding such thing is not going to land up to anything good for Ambush Esports and GB2L, because there are two teams who have landed there, and fight is going to brew up real soon. Apart from that, if we talk about anywhere else, if we might see some early fights that can be between Team ECL. Alongside them, it is going to be Team Extreme X's. But talking about Stonebridge, though, nobody is going to get the best of resources. That is a little saddening point.
Yeah, and we do know that Ambush is relatively well placed in the leaderboard, so this win could mean a lot to them. This early fight, though, it's going to be a lot dependent on how this proceeds. GB2L, they're trying to be cautionary here, not committing without having that positional advantage. Immediate drop of the glue wall, but Godspeed not recognizing where that sound came from. It's kind of an iffy fight right now because it's all over the place. There's really no refrag potential. There's no backup that GB2L could give to their fellow comrades. This push is quite deadly. I love this play from Ambush Esports. Just forcing the issue, knowing that GB2L are relatively spread, could net them these early frags to set them well here in map 3. Dakaris trying to survive. His fight was well worth it because he bought a lot of time to try and get as much room for Alpha to make his way to safety. Now it's all about Alpha playing for placements.
Absolutely. Now the game strategy is totally changed, fighting it out for the kills, and now it is all going to be the standing points. Let's see how Team ECL is going to go ahead, because it is a refinery where you have lots of place to hide as well as to get the perfect. All you got to do is just climb the tower. Who is on the tower though? There's one team, that is none other than Mask Boys. We did see some good kills coming from Mask Boys previously. Let's see, are they going to go ahead with the same amount of kills? But over here, before we talk about refinery, near to the maze, there are already two teams who are on the verge of getting engaged in terms terms of fight. Team Extreme X's were against them. It is going to be Team Riot. Shuo is already knocked down, and yes, the kill gets confirmed. So Team Extreme X is winning away one fight, but it is 3v4 situation. And we very well know that even after losing one player, you can still battle it out. You can still go against the 4 players. But after losing one player, it is also one certain things you lose some sort of confidence, because well, the player who was trying to flank out, he was the scouter of the team, and they lost him so early on. So without him, are they going to move ahead, or are they going to fall back without picking up fight against them? That is going to be the question.
Yeah, I guess it's the latter. A wise choice, considering that you still can opt in for the fight of a man disadvantage, but as it ever so occurs in Free Fire, that man advantage might as well just cost you the game. And considering that Riot were placed in the top 4 after map 2, I doubt they'd like to risk their position on the leaderboard, hence the passive approach. But Extreme X, they are just waiting. They're hoping that the rotation comes in through their gates, and they potentially could get this early fight in their bag as well. This circle is certainly looking to head towards Refinery, which, again, you know how Kalahari works, Tanya. When it heads to Refinery, it's all about who has the highest position on the map. We've seen how that impacts the game quite a bit. The circle, though, it's also going to lead in way of rotations, where Eclipse has already commenced their fight. Now, this early fight meta is something that I really do enjoy, where they completely commit on the back of this, right? There is so much action all around the map, and it just does not give any break to the players, the viewers, whoever tunes in. For now, it is going to be relatively long range, though. A good bit of sniper action coming in from Shuvo as he tries to lay down some cover fire while he's making his way to a potential flank Eclipse. Are they going to be eclipsed by the fact that this is going to be a one and done fight? Look at the positions coming in from Team LMC. They are setting themselves well in case Eclipse do try and commit to a fight out in the open.
Yeah, let's see how are they going to fight into the open, because it is Kalahari. You don't get hard compounds everywhere else except for the very outskirts of the map itself. Over here, I see split of 50-50 going here, and I think it is very fair to go. The reason is, yes, if certainly you get knocked out, you have other teammate to support you. With one kill, all 4 players intact, they did pick up one fight, all safe to go. But then there's one thing that I would also like to initiate. It is Team One Man, who did not land on the highest resource zone, but certainly they are there getting the best of resources. So the resources of Kalahari are not getting wasted. They are being backed up by Team 1. But if we talk about current situation near to the maze, Team Riot did take a fall back, but not too far away. They can pick up the fight even if they want to. One of the player is quite too far away from other teammates about Team Extreme X's. And there's one third party affair brewing up as well, which is going to be Team Xenon. They've lost one player. So talking about Team Riot and Team Xenon, they are as a trio. But if we talk about Team Extreme X's, they are as a squad. But yet, even after having a squad, one of the player is quite too far away. So it is going to be a trio situation for all 3 teams. Who is going to be successful, though? That is going to be the question, because above them it is UAV, who has already exposed the exact positions, exact locations of the teammates or opponents.
Yeah, and this is where that man advantage is going to help Extreme X, only if they do prevent their third-party Doom sandwich from occurring, because both teams, Xenon and if I'm not mistaken, that is Team Riot all the way in the north, were looking to potentially back this team to get a couple of kills, but Xenon does end up retreating and conceding the fight. They do not want to commit to this. Again, off that man disadvantage, their approach might be to just try playing as conservatively as you can. We discussed a lot about this in the pregame, in fact, Tanya, where we did mention that teams do like to try and play for position rather than kills, especially when it comes to the middle segment of Kalahari Day. That's what Xenon are going for here. If they get a good position inside that circle, that man disadvantage might not even mean much if they're able to just point and shoot heads.
Yeah, absolutely. All you got to do is save yourself for the final circle. Take the kills that are coming your way. There's no reason for you to pick up so early on, because yes, we are just 7 minutes down. There's long way to go. Now, I don't think it is going to be a very long way, because UAV is going to reveal the location, and certainly not Team LMC still safe. UAV doesn't go above their head. All they got to do is save themselves, not pick up any fight. And in previous match, we did see this passive approach coming from B26. This play of patience favored them with a very grand booyah with total of 8 8 kills or maybe more if this is the way Team LMC is going to pick the fight. Maybe they're going to be successful. Talk about successful though, we are already having two teams who are already fighting it out. Tanmoy here did spot Chupin, gave some damage, and what a perfect save here. Chrono Shield saved them, and the angle of grenade did not even connect at all.
Oh, the counter nade though, and they are trying to fight this. Eclipse knows that there's only one way out of this cave, and it's from where they came from. Right now, Team Xenon off that man disadvantage, so it's essentially a 3 versus 3 in this compound. They're watching all the exits. It's almost like Eclipse are being forced to fight here. The nades should try and force them out. Beautiful job by Alamin there. Double nade to finish the job off, and it's left Ramajan all alone. He does have a sniper, but oh no! Bam and pop goes the weasel. The nades just cannot stop lighting up the sky. What a play from Team Xenon. A perfect 3 versus 3.
Three players got eliminated by the grenades. They were the victim of the grenades. That is what I love to watch. I fascinate the grenade kills coming, and they were just the perfect one. One grenade, boom, 2 players are down. And somewhere around, I felt the last man standing will heal up, will revive up, will at least will be able to take 1 kill. But he was not even given a single extra second to try to even get that angle. And second grenade comes in, and he was eliminated. So yes, this is the first team that got eliminated on the server. Still, there are 11 teams and 37 players playing it along. And this time around, I see Jibon has extended himself to such a strong limits. I think if he is spotted, I don't think there's any chance that he will be revived. But let's head towards the current standings. B26 Mystics still on position 1 with total of 45 points, and followed by Team XB with 27 points. Look at the difference, OG. Look at the difference. Even if Team XB takes away the Booyah, it is way too difficult to reach the limits of B26 Mystics. Ambush Esports quite too close, and Ambush and Eclipse are sharing the scores with 20 to 22 each. Team Riot very close with a difference of 1 point, and GB2L Esports still stands a chance to reach into top 6. But if we talk about top, I say Team TXB on position 2 has hold the table top tower right now into the refinery, near to the refinery though, and they have the best of advantage. They can get the clearer picture, but with advantage there stands a lots of disadvantage as well. You don't have much of hard cover, so if you get spotted, it is very definite that you are going to get knocked up.
Exactly, and in such an exposed position, if there's a risk of getting third party, you're almost done for, right? That's your chance in Kalahari just knocked right out of your hands. Again, long range shots being taken. Shafat landing a couple of tags, but they do need to make a move as the circle's going to close in on them. Again, this rotation way out in the open. This is the position that you'd hate to be in, right? Where you're forced to commit to a rotation, you're out in the open, the time is against you, the odds are against you. With very less options, they'd be far fewer ways you can counterplay. Newbie though, quick push through outside, but it's a nade who downs Bladers, and B26 are just getting beaten up right now. It's all left on a shot and Loud. There needs to be some kind of redemption here. They've been leading the leaderboards, but is this where the cookie crumbles? The nade on top, the bounce is decent enough. Can it get the finish is the question. They're breaking through the glue walls, but they're also fighting their way from within the corpse. They are taking Team 1 out and possibly even getting them eliminated. What a play. What a play. This is why B26 are all the way up in the top, but it's also left Loud all by himself. The MP5 spam from close range, but the chrono dropped instantly. This is where the double vectors would be of real good use. The retreat, there's nobody left to revive. B26 on the verge of getting eliminated here in map 3, but they're surviving, they're skimping their way through Kalahari. This is going to be a hard way for B26 to recover. Lil Out needs to play out of his mind.
Yeah, I feel the existence of B26 would have been exhausted thoroughly. The reason is there were 2 players. It was a 2v1 situation. Then comes the third party, which was Team One Man, who eliminated the existence of the Mask Boys. So now we still do have 10 teams to fight. Team Cyanide, we did not see any good kills coming in, but yes, we did see the perfect grenade popping in. And Spartan is going to confirm this kill, and this is the first kill coming from Team Cyanide. Talking about Hameen, though he did give a one small attempt to save his teammate with the cover fire, but which did not affect much, which did not give any good result there. They did lose one of the players there, and let's see now this time around there's going to be Team Xenon versus Team Cyanide. How are they going to fight out? And a man of the match for the previous round, which was Purgatory, it was B26 Bladers with total of 4 kills. Good amount of kills. Yes, they did go passive, but apart from being passive, they did manage to get more than 8 kills. So it was overall a good play. But this time around, OG, they've lost 3 players already. I don't think they stand any chance to take him with a booyah this time around. The last man standing hostage has to make sure at least he survives until top 3. And talk about TXB, baby girl is already knocked out. Arthur down as well, and now it is all up to Ali. How strong can Ali pick the fight? And no, Team XB, the team which was on position 2, gets eliminated.
Yeah, and the MVP from game 1 sadly could not turn the situation around, although Team Cyanide, their rotations have been good so far, but it's being countered by Team Xenon, who are real good here in their attempt to gatekeep this. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 nonetheless. The close range heal, I'm not sure what Shafat was trying to go there, and with the nade, it might just be hell on top of fire. This is turning out to be quite a heated affair, because Shafat, he's out in the front. It's not possible for them to even conceive a revive, but the push out of the circle, Alameen finds the knock onto Akib. It's leaving Spartan all alone, and he is in a position where he potentially could knock Xenon out. The repeat, though, confirms the kill and confirms the squad. Team Xenon going strong here in map 3, Team 1. I'm expecting a good bit from Team 1. I've seen decent performances from Team 1 throughout the league stage, but this is where they need to come in clutch. This is where conversions absolutely do not count. This is where your performance is going to define you. The top 6 are going to head into the grand finals, and you better hope that Team 1 are going to be up in there. LMC, though, the rotation towards that high ground, the only problem is they need to get back down if they need to get in the circle, which means they need to be out in the open. This scares me, Tanya. This scares me.
That definitely scares me too, having the height of advantage coming from Team LMC, but Zone is not going to favor them. Now they're using the vehicle to take an entry. I don't think this is the safe way to pick up the entry. Somewhere around, Sparking is definitely risking himself. He might get knocked up. Card Blast is enough to get him knocked down, but fortunately he's safe. Not so long, because Team Riot is already waiting for them. And this time around, one of the players who was Sparking is down.
Wow.
Riot is also picking up the fights, but the advantage is totally backed up by Team 1, getting free kills from both the directions. Riot is down with 1 player, but yes, it is a mid-range to long-range fight. The player might get revived. Team Xenon with total of 5 kills. Even after losing Xenon, to look at Alameen's frag, he is the only fragger with all 5 kills coming from his side. If this is the way Team Xenon is going to perform, we did not see any strong fights coming until now for today. I think it is going to be the shift. It is going to be a good positive change for Team Xenon, and they need to make sure all they need to do is just continue the consistency that they are showing this time around.
Sure, and Team 1 have been lights out here in map 3 as well. Real good engagement that they did take against Team Riot, where they did end up getting the third party on, if I'm not wrong, Team LMC. So, good start for them towards the finishing end of this map. Let's see if they can convert, because there's a lot of teams where there's only 3 men alive, right? That man advantage is certainly going to help when the push does come in. Xenon, who have started their good swing of momentum, they need to try and prolong this as much as they can. They're trying to gatekeep here. They're playing at the edge of the circle, which is kind of risky considering how many teams might be in a potential good spot to gatekeep them. Ambush Esports, though, still holding their ground. The nades are going to start coming in. The blue walls being disintegrated. Team 1, they're losing numbers here. Mula, he's going to be revived, but yet another nade going to be dropped. This is putting Team Riot in a perfect position to try and get the backstab, which simply hasn't happened as of yet. Team 1 in a very uncomfortable position. This fight might just make or break their presence through this day in the play-ins here. Oh boy. Now the circle starts closing in. This is when everybody is drawn to the center and drawn out in the open. Team 1 are just trying to finish off what's remaining of Riot, but they are They are trying to push into the small gateway. The nade is beautiful. What an explosive finish. What an explosive finish for Ambush Esports, lighting the server ablaze, and they deserve this booyah wholeheartedly. This is quite frankly one of the best endings to Kalahari Day that I've seen so far, Tanya.
Did the deal not only for the final circle, even before when we had the cameras on different players, they were going with the plays and kills coming from the grenade launcher M79, the final finisher. And yes, I would agree to your statement. This was by far the most we can say most entertaining finisher coming for Kalahari. I did enjoy a lot, but certainly the teams, the players who got eliminated, they must not have such a good end to at this point of time, because getting eliminated with M79 in the final circle, you risk yourself alongside trying in the attempt of elimination of the opponents, because circle was closing in. All you had was 3 grenade ammos to work out with, and shooting it out into such an angle, none of your teammates get attacked or get damaged indeed, and you will successfully take away the booyah. I don't know know exactly with how many amount of kills they took away the Booyah, but it was by far the most interesting Kalahari Booyah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And let's just head over to the replays real quick because I'm itching to know how we got to this point. Of course, we had this early fight where it was a real nice investment from Ambush Esports. They got that early man down. Sure, that happens. We did highlight how the man advantage is important for you to back Booyahs, especially in that last circle when all hell breaks loose. But they were able to get that squad wipe and they were able to stay alive till the end. Where even you, for a fact, Tanya, were rooting for them to some extent. They did deliver, and BT6 Mystics, a team that we know are real fans of getting in the dirt and getting in the action. This time, though, didn't pan out in their favor, and that's the trade-off, right? You obviously do want to hit that golden balance between placement points and kill points, but when you are going to try and get those kill points in your bag, you still have that element of risk that you need to deal with, that you need to make sure that you're in the best position possible. You are priming yourself to get that either one man or the squad, and you make sure that there's no third parties around, which in games like Free Fire where the actions blazing fast, there's barely any factors that you have which are in your control. Again, another fight that's really good is the fight from EXE, where they are able to back themselves a couple of kill points, making sure that they are still going to be relevant when it comes to the scoreboard. This, though, Tanya, I feel is the turning point. This is where Team 1 are really going to get a little bit of stability. This third party was real soul-crushing, to say the least.
They were able to confirm some kills from both the teams, and they turned into the kill leaders at this point of time. And then we were left with only 8 players over here. I did read some kill feed coming in that Ambush Esports are already starting to ambush with all the grenade launcher that they hold on to. And over here, Team Riot gets eliminated, and Kiddo, the last man standing, could not survive anymore. And with the Ambush Esports Nitrox, the person who was using the grenade launchers, made sure that the existence of B26 will get totally ambushed. It was a good booyah overall, but still the one thing is going to be consistent, that is going to be B26. They are not going to lose the position 1. It is getting even more solidified even after every single match.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really excited to see, Tanya, is how they implement Skylar with the nades. It's a real good combo, especially when the circle gets really small. People generally try to use both chrono shields and glue walls to try get cover. But let's have a quick look at the scoreboard, because that's what's going to define who's leading the charts. Again, as expected, BT6 Mystics with a very, very good lead are able to get a lot of safety net, and that's allowed them to be on the top, even though Kalahari, they did not go as planned. Ambush Esports, though, real good showing here in Kalahari, have backed themselves back into the second place, and this is something that's really nice to see, because that performance was really, really good, and it's paying off Ambush Esports in a really nice way.
Liking how Team Riot, without any booyah, they are on position 3. Look at the amount of kills in position. That is showing that even without booyah, with some consistent placement point and kill points, you can stand into the chance of being in top 3. Talking about Team XP, they were performing very well into the beginning, but certainly they are stumbling down. Look at the amount of kills. They are definitely not they were into the very beginning. So at this point of time, they need to make sure they get into the same gear where they initiated with. Team 1 man with total of 24 points. Team Extreme X's and TRBs are sharing the score, and GB2L Esports can still win it out, because still three matches to go. But certainly with 15 points of lead, B26 Mystics did have one good I would say it was a very easy match, easy losing match for them. They don't stand any further such sort of plays. If they continue to lose so early on, I don't think they are going to have the same chances of position 1 somewhere around. Ambush Esports is definitely emerging very beautifully into top 5.
Yeah, and also Team Extreme, EX, and Team One Man did have a good map here in map 3. Now, you gotta assume that they try and build off this momentum, right? Because it's, of course, gonna be a long affair for us here on the broadcast today. It's gonna be the best tested here in the grand final planes. And hey, everybody's given a fair chance, right? So this is the chance if you're rooting for somebody like Team One Man, where they might have had a slow start, but hey, the finish is gonna be a completely different story. Is there any team that you secretly are rooting for, Tanya? Who do you think might have that dark horse element to them?
Well, the team of Baby Girl, I saw the team playing it so beautifully. The last person
Yeah.
standing, yeah, the first match. So, if I had to secretly tell that if there's any team who I want to see that getting qualified to the finals, this is going to be the team. So, with that, we are also ready with the fourth match for the day, which is going to be Bermuda once again, where Baby Girl did took away the booyah. Let's see if she's going to go with the same, because Bermuda was the match there where she showed some sort of magic. Let's see the magic continues here. And the flight is already on. The players are already trying to eject out of the flight path. If we talk about the flight path, it is quite usual, same diagonal, but a little bit on the northern side, running from the eastern to the western direction. Highest resource zone is definitely going to have high population because it is just passing through the flight route.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see which teams try to head towards Mars Electric, Sentosa, or even Pochinok for that fact, because there's going to be a good bit of teams who would like to play placements, right? Who would like to get their gear up first and only then commence to a fight. You can already see a good bit of teams heading towards the south, towards the Pochinok area, that being Riot, Team EXE, Eclipse, and Mask. This is turning out to be one populated region here in the south. There should be a lot of early fights in Factory and Pochinok and limited loot, which makes it all the more exhilarating.
Yeah, absolutely. But if we talk about highest resource zone, OG, I'm seeing one fight might come up real soon. It is going to be against two legendary teams. Team B26 Mystics, who is already on position 1, and Team TXB, who did take away one booyah in Bermuda. If whatsoever the team gets eliminated, they are going to have a very good loss. But before that, we are heading towards the fight, which is already on. Near to the Pochinok, the fighting shots are coming from Team ECL, and the kill gets confirmed over here. Mehdi draws the first blood. Kazi is also down. Second kill also is confirmed over here. ECL with total of 2 kills, and now it is Extreme X's with only 2 players remaining. I think it should be the time they should decide, just take a fall back and not engage much over here, because if they do, this is going to be the team who gets eliminated. And Mehdi is trying to make sure that they just don't run it out. Third player is also down, and now it is all up to Hamim. How successful is he going to be in running away from this fight and save some placement point? Not further, not so long, and it is just 2 minutes down. We already seen one team getting eliminated, which is Extreme X's.
Yeah, Eclipse off to a flying start, and that's what you would expect, right? Where in going for a conservative approach where they try to go for a zone with less loot, potentially less population, it just plays against them. For now, Eclipse, a good start here in map 4, and another team who has more than enough potential and placements to try and make it back. Eclipse is a team that I'm eager to see how they perform here in the play-ins, at least in the remaining maps, because we did see a good bit of prowess from them throughout the past few days. It'd be a shame to see them go out. It would be also a shame if Team 1 could have... it would have been a shame if Team 1 also were in that fight, because when you're this close, maps like these are going to make the world go round and round.
But something did not go round and round, to be honest. It was Team Extreme X's and Eclipse TRB was sharing the same score of 22 after this match. I'm very sure of Extreme X's are going to stumble down, and it is going to be Eclipse TRB from position 7. They are going to rise up, comparing if they're compared thoroughly with the same score. But being in top 7 is good. If landing into a fight, not having good weapons, because it was a totally acceptable situation. It was a land and fight. You don't have much of resources. You don't have the choice of weapons. You have to fight it out with whatsoever you had. Extreme X's got a little delayed in the decision making where they had to take the landing. They changed the flight route, the landing route, to be honest, not the flight route though. So that is what they paid for, and they are not going to be into top 7 at this point of time after losing so badly. Still, they have 2 matches to go. But yes, if we talk about Ambush Esports, Nitrox with his beautiful grenade attacks and grenade launchers, he was the man of the match with total of 6 kills. Let's see this time around, is he going to go ahead with the same fights, same kills, and be the kill leader once again? At Shipyard though, I don't think there's anybody sharing the grounds, and what a scattered position. They are all fearless. They are very well aware. No footwork's heard. They're all safe and sound. So look at the distance between each and every player, OG.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. And this is something that I'd want to point out, where when we do look at the teams who are playing in the grand final play-ins, right, you see a real good majority of them are more comfortable with assault rifles than snipers, where we had teams like Agent EXP who had Zissan, real good sniper. real good and consistent play with the sniper rifle. I feel like that's somewhat painting a picture of how different playstyle complements different maps. We do, of course, have another early fight being broken out. Eclipse, who has gotten off to a good start here in map 4, are now potentially fighting off one of my favorite teams heading into the play-ins, which is Team 1. And this initial knock might not do much in the way of fight, as it just slows down the retreat. But I think that should just be about enough. Team 1 come knocking on the door and just break it open, saying, hey, what's up? We got you, and you are in the body bag. Eclipse wiped out of the server, and Team 1, a real show of dominance here. GB2L. One question though, Tanya. GB2L, we've seen them having somewhat of a problem in Kalahari Day. Do you feel like that's just due to the fact that GB2L's rotations are potentially what I'd consider somewhat last minute? Do you think that it's just based on the map that they might perform better in this map of Bermuda rather than in the previous map of Kalahari?
Kalahari being the most unpredictable map, you can never decide from which angle do you need to flank out and enter the circle. You are never able to predict where the opponents are waiting for you, or maybe gatekeeping would be the apt word. So GB2L did give some good efforts into the previous match, but somewhere around, I feel in Bermuda they are going to outshine once again. Kalahari, though, I mean it is total deserted. You don't get much of covers. Wherever you try to take the rotation, you can easily get spotted, because yes, it is going to be refinery, the satellite tower, the network towers, where the players are already waiting for you with a Hawkeye, because grappling hook guns does the deal. That is how your gate kept very easily. So somewhere around in previous match, we did not see some outshining performance for Bermuda. I'm very sure of, if they are into a good location, the location is decided whether they are in good or not according to the circle, according to the zone. So if they are within the zone, they'll make sure to confirm some kills. But over here, I'm seeing some kills might get confirmed. There are 3 teams already into the grounds of Pochinok. And if we talk about ambush esports, they did ambush previously. They're using the vehicles, taking the longer rotation, easier rotation, and they are not even getting spotted, which is very good, because using the vehicles into such an open area is equal to shoot, and you get blasted out. It was not the scenario, but the scenario here is way more chaotic. It is going to be Mask against Riot. Riot sure easily went within the wooden house, gave some damage, and again flanked out. If we talk about Arnav, he used the chrono shield, using the double vector, trying to shred out the opponents, though an unsuccessful attempt. And now they are sharing the grounds, one on the upper ground, one beneath them, exactly into the barn house. In whose favor is this fight going to go? Because there's already one third party attempt that might come up from B26 Mystics.
Yeah, this engagement here at Pochinok definitely is getting heated, with nobody trying to take that initial risk. Everybody trying to just play it off a little passive. Of course, we do have a little bit of spam, just trying to test the nerves to see if anybody is gonna perhaps break under the pressure, right? They're camping this ground floor, where you also have Team B26 Mystics on the other side of Pochinok. This is getting to be one heated affair, but Riot have successfully disengaged and might just not commit on this fight, because even they have to know, right? There's a decent bit of third party. They obviously did see Team 1 as well, just Team Riot actually, just going around with the vehicle. Definitely not a position where you'd like to try and commit to a fight, but it's not as open as they can just fall back, right? There's so many teams around which they do not have any information over, where they potentially might risk getting knocked in rotation. Team 1, though, they are trying to have a couple of holes poked towards TXP. No return fire, though. The standstill is gonna brew into free fire heaven in no time, Tanya.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who is going to heaven, who is going to hell. Ultimately, it is Red Zone who might send someone into the hell with the meteor shower. But fortunately, everybody is within the hard covers. I don't see any over worsening situations, because Ambush Esports with the split of 50-50, perfectly fair. 2 players already waiting within the sniper tower at this end, 2 players within the small shack, trying to gatekeep any teams, or maybe they're just waiting for any team to come into their radar and they get some kills and knocks. Because yes, there's one team who's going to be Team Riot, who might want to enter They don't need to enter though, but they might want to enter, because certainly there's one more team I can see through the mini map. Team Riot either can go run out of that fight, where they will pick up the fight against Ambush Esports, or just hold the position where they are, where there is already the ground sharing between two teams. Let's see what is the decision of Team Riot, because if Team Riot decides to take a fallback, Ambush Esports will get some free kills. But if they try to pick up the fight against Mask Boys, let's see in whose favor is it going to go, because it is the fair fight 4v4 situation where you can never pre-predict, because zone is favoring both the teams. You are having the best of locations, best of weapons, because you're already 10 minutes down to the match. So we cannot say that anybody is on the low of resources or doesn't have any sort of choice of weapons. But somewhere around, Team TXB can definitely stop Team Cyanide from entering the circle. But before that, Team Zenon has already picked up fight. Shifat has confirmed one kill, and he's the first fragger here.
Yeah, this is where that rotation aspect really does paint a picture, right? When you do commit to a rotation just 30 seconds before the circle starts to shrink, it's kind of almost telegraphed for any team trying to gatekeep, which we've seen a good bit of teams having that recurring game style of both cartwheeling and gatekeeping. So far, the meta stands, and it stands strong. LMC, 4-man strong this time around, so there's definitely not a handicap based on numbers. Considering that it's gonna be the Thanos circle at any minute now, it's gonna be nerve-wracking for some of these teams as they do try to commit the long rotation. At least in this map, Tanya, there is a good bit of cover in both topography, where the hills do give you a lot of avenues to rotate, but also compounds, right? Something that's very crucial for you to be as consistent as you can in the Battle Royale. This has the elements of quite possibly the most consistent map. That means it's going to be the most consistent team that wins it, at least by theory.
Yeah, theoretically, this map is quite too consistent. You can pre-predict a little bit of the circle, little bit of the rotations and entries as well. And to be honest, now it is fourth match for the day, OG. So now, yes, ABC group did not perform together by far, but it is plains. 3 matches are already down. So now they exactly know how the opponents might react. They've already had the experience of these 3 maps. So with that sort of experience, it is going to be a little bit pre-predictive. But certainly, if we talk about the teams who are into top 6, all they got to do is just maintain the position they are into. For the bottom 6, they have to go out of that cover, out of the shell, play it out into the best possible ways, because all today it is about you need to reach the top 6. If you don't do it today, there's nothing else you can do for such a big event coming up. FFBC, by far the biggest event for the Bangladesh territory.
Exactly, Tanya. And yeah, you did bring up the point as to how they can consistently try and predict each other just due to the fact that they've played so many days against and with each other, right? That's where the grueling league stage format actually does tend to help you, where you do get a good read on your team. LMC, though, this fight that they've committed early in their rotation is maybe not the best choice, especially due to the fact that Team TXB are going to try and get as much noise, right? Team Riot definitely will have an eye to this. It's information given away, but the kills need to come in regardless. The glue wall giving as much protection as it humanly can. But the nade from Shubo, beautiful stuff, completely eradicating every single member from TXB in the back lines, and it's forced the push in from Arthur, who is trying to get his job done, but there's simply no backup. This is where that played a double-edged sword. Now, Ambush Esports know exactly what's up and are coming to take LMC down to their knees. The rotation in with the van as they try to go in and out, just dipping in and out of the fight. That is a really, really, really fearless move, but that also might cost you, because the entire time Team Riot just lied in wait. They were waiting for such a move from Ambush. Now comes the punish. Refresh. He needs to run into cover. He needs to find some kind of safe haven in this Pochinok hell that he's dropped into, making his way in through the barn, but Afan giving chase. It's Riot essentially playing split, which might not be the best decision that you can take, especially in this stage of the circle. The third-party options are numerous, and Team Riot, with a member down, they need to get back up in their momentum and get their head together to get map 4.
Let's see how are they going to go ahead, because Ambush Esports, after losing one player, they are having less in numbers. But Godspeed did take lots of risk, which was much more than necessary would be the apt words. I don't think those sort of rotations were anywhere necessary. They took the risk and they paid a lot more than they could have afford. So losing Godspeed is a very bad position for them. After that, I'm seeing one more player is down. But let's head towards Cyanide. Akib, how nicely and flawlessly he's throwing some grenades. Unfortunately, he could not connect any. Talk about Mask Boys, though they are into the safe situation. They are able to gatekeep. Right, Shivo is already down. Maruf is with very low HP, but he can heal himself at this point of time. Mask and be definitely trying to eliminate the existence of Team Riot. Team Riot have taken one knock. Ambush Esports are with such a risk, which is an unnecessary risks. They are eliminated, which is not. I feel bad about those rotations. But now let's head back to Team B26. Newbie is having the grenade launcher, one of the deadliest weapon for the final circle, and yes, he's also shooting some shots. Did they connect? I'm not very sure of, but GB2L Esports are into the best of the advantage.
Wow.
May it be circle, may it be height, or they can gatekeep two teams at a time. But apart from that, if we talk about disadvantages, there's no hard cover they can work out with except for few blue walls and one small summon airdrop.
Yeah, G2BL definitely are in a real prime position here in Bermuda. Alongside that, we also have Xenon, who are providing somewhat of a resurgence here in map 4. So definitely, this definitely is going to be a map which helps reset the leaderboard and get back a little bit more in terms of craziness when it comes to the last two games. And hey, so far, B26 Mystics, the team that's been leading the leaderboard so far, are still in the fight. Newbie is sadly had to tap out though, which has given a lot of room for them to be out in the cover and down for the taking. B26 Mystics trying their very best to hold on to any kind of hope left here in Bermuda. It's all gonna be on two players, but the push is coming in from GB2L. Close range Mag 7. This is the action you like to see, Tanya. This Mag 7 can do so much work in this range, and bam, Team Xenon out of the server. It's gonna be 3 teams up for potentially trying to get their hands at the Booyah. GB2L looking real sharp right now, but Team Xenon have the numbers as well. They've been grinding this game out. The blue wall collapses and they need to get the revive up, but grouping themselves in the position allows the nades to be as lethal as you can imagine. The nade in reverse, the blue wall, certainly that cover. Shafat might be blown up to pieces. The Chrono Shield deployed as well allows for more added cover fire from Team Xenon, but they're putting themselves in a position where they lack any kind of moves. They lack any kind of room to maneuver themselves out. And LMC, they are just gonna try and make Extreme be as passive as he can, allowing him to get as much done in way of placements. But the rotation from Team Xenon, if LMC's Extreme gets involved in the fight, this could get real messy.
That is definitely getting real messy. Advantage of numbers definitely lies into the hands of Team Xenon. And I like the way how grenades were getting exchanged. One of the players is already down, coming from GB2L Esports. They've managed to rule the circle, but now I'm afraid they're not going to be able to do the same. Skylight is also spotted. He's very close to get knocked down, but certainly he's saved with mere 1 HP. What a savior. And he's also able to get one knock. Shifpath is down and eliminated. All he got to do is just heal back, and now it is going to be 3v3 situation. Two teams are still alive. It is not a 3v3. It is a 3v4. GB2L still surviving. So all 4 men standing. So yes, they did rule the circle from early on until now. How are they going to fight out? Yes, Mag 7, one of the strongest weapons in the hands of a GB2L Alpha. Got one knock, confirming Team Xenon getting eliminated out of nowhere. I already expected the Team Xenon is going to take away this Booyah, but certainly not. Certainly not. If we talk about position, OG, I am very sure you would not deny to the matter of fact the advantage of circle was definitely into the hands of Team Xenon. They threw this Booyah. I don't know how, but yes, they did.
Well, you also have to give it to GB2L in that situation, right? They also had a real good position right towards the end of the circle, where they did gatekeep, they did try and do as much done by the textbook, and that's rewarded them, Tanya. The shotgun extravaganza there in the last circle. Oh boy, was that a thing of beauty? That's what I mean by Free Fire. You know, those close range fights are the ones that really get your adrenaline pumping. I did say that we're missing a little bit in terms of sniper rifle action, but we're certainly getting more than enough when it does come to both the shotguns exhilarating gameplay and the explosive nature of the grenades. Let's quickly take a look at the replay to get a good understanding of what happened in map 4, because this is, I think, one of the more important games that we've had today, Tanya. It's given a lot of these teams like GB2L, like Eclipse, a chance to come back, right? GB2L obviously bagging that Booyah now stands a chance to get a good resurgence here in the play-ins. This builds a perfect storyline for the grand finals, and it's not even begun.
Yes, it's not even begin, but certainly heat is rising, the temperatures are rising, the fights, as the day is trying to get an end, trying to get a finisher, the fights are going to such a certain extent that we are not able to predict. So certainly Bermuda, which I said, yes, you can pre-predict. Certainly I could not predict this time round. ECL got eliminated quite too easily. Mehdi with very low HP. He went for the jump and shoot action. Kunok finished him, where ECL was totally eliminated. Talk about LNC, Sky Shoot did give some good connecting shots to Hamim through the blue walls. Hamim healed himself. If you talk about Extreme, he went out of the cover. They were able to get one knock at this point of time, but then he just rushes in within the window. Arthur getting knocked down. Yes, if Arthur is one of the flanker of the team, we are very well aware, but then they got eliminated quite too early on. But then we came to the top 5 teams, top 4 teams who were remaining. You just look at the circle. I would definitely say the circles were in the favor of Team Zenon. Why? They had the advantage of height, unlike other team. They could have rushed back. They could have taken the cover of the tower, but certainly they did not go for that. The player somewhere, Shupin was able to get one player down with very low HP, confirmed the kill, and they changed the picture, they changed the scenario and took away the Booyah.
Yeah, for sure. This last circle, again, like I discussed, was a real good display of how good the shotguns can be if they're put to the best of range. And Xenon they got the bad end of the stick in that trade, right? It all comes down to those milliseconds when it comes to making that right decision. Sadly, Team Xenon, in a little bit of a low ground compared to Team GB2L, did not stand at much an advantage. Sure, if they would have gotten the drop on a Skylar, they could have potentially tried and winning this 3v4, but GB2L got the revive in and they got the Booyah. What an absolutely interesting game, Tanya.
Interesting. Leaderboard is going to be even more interesting. The reason is I don't think B26 are going to be shakeable, but certainly GB2L were on position 8. They're going to get a very good upshift with such a beautiful Booyah, because they did have some good amount of kills. They had initiated fight early on. They predicted the circle very beautifully. They did not have to rush out through the blue circle, race within the circle or something. All they were managing to play it edge to edge, which ultimately ended into such a beautiful favor with them. A strong Booyah with more than 8 kills is fairly enough to get a positive upshift, at least into top 5 for sure.
Well, one thing that I still have ringing in my mind, Tanya, is the fact that we just saw how Bermuda lays the way of consistency, right? For the way we're gonna finish off this grand final play-ins, it's gonna be Purgatory Day and Kalahari Day, which, Purgatory is a map where anything could happen. You really can never hinge on anybody succeeding. And hey, we all know how beautiful Kalahari Day is, right? Anything in way of rotations is going to be rewarded or punished. And boy, does that make for some exhilarating Free Fire action. We will be back, ladies and gentlemen, with the finisher of the grand final play-ins. And it's going to be Mamba and Salty helping you through the final segment. Until then, it's me and Starthonia tuning out. Be right back after a break.
ওয়েলকাম টু এফএফবিসি 2021 এর প্লেইংসে। আমরা কিন্তু প্লেইংসে চলে এসেছি এবং আপনাদের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা আছি অ্যাজ ইউজুয়াল, এবং আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু আজকে স্পেশাল গেস্ট আছে, তার সাথে আমরা পরিচয় করে দিব। প্রথমে আমার পরিচয়টা দিয়ে দিই। আমি আছি অনন্য মাসুদ আপনাদের সাথে, এবং আমাদের সাথে রয়েছে কিন্তু সারফরাজ, রিঙ্কু ভাই, বুচার্স, এবং আমাদের স্পেশাল গেস্ট, সে কিন্তু আর কেউ না গাইজ, আপনাদের সবার পরিচিত, সবার ভালোবাসার মামা গেমিং। হ্যালো রাকিব ভাই, কি অবস্থা?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কি অবস্থা? সবাইকে স্বাগতম এফএফবিসি 2021 এর প্লে-ইনসে। আর আজকে কিন্তু ধামাকা হতে চলেছে। কি মনে হয় রিঙ্কু ভাই?
It's great. So রাকিব ফার্স্ট টাইম এখানে আসছেন। সো রাকিব ভাইকে সবাই কংগ্রেচুলেশন জানাই এখানে আসার জন্য, মামা গেমিং ফার্স্ট টাইম। এন্ড আমরা ওকে জানাবো কি হচ্ছে কি না হচ্ছে। তার আগে সারফরাজ, মাসুদ, বুচার, আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করতে চাচ্ছি কি হবে কি না হবে প্লেইংসে আজকে। সো ফার্স্ট অফ অল তোমরা জানোই যে ৬টা গ্রুপ অলরেডি চলে গিয়েছে না? সো বাকি ১২টা গ্রুপ আছে এন্ড এই ১২টা গ্রুপ থেকে নেক্সট ৬টা গ্রুপ আরকি ৬টা টিম আই মিন ওরা সিলেক্ট হবে। সো দেখা যাক কাহিনী কি হয়। সো হোয়াট ইউ থিংক গাইস কে কি হইতে পারে বা কি হতে চলেছে আজকে?
আর
সরফরাজ?
আমি একটা এখানে একটু এড করতে চাই গাইস। হেই হ্যালো আবার সবাইকে আবার আমিও একবার স্বাগতম জানাই নিচ্ছি আমাদের হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ চ্যাম্পিয়নশিপের 2021 এর সবাইকে একবার স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। আমি সরফরাজ খান আপনাদের সাথে আছি। আর আজকে কিন্তু আমরা কথা বলতে যাচ্ছি আমাদের প্লেসে যে ১২টা টিম খেলতেছে তাদের একটা শেষ লড়াই। আমি বলব না যে শেষ লড়াই কজ এখানে কিন্তু ১২টা টিম খেলবে এবং ১২টা টিম সরাসরি এদের মধ্যে থেকে ৬ জন ৬টা টিম কিন্তু অলরেডি চলে যাবে হচ্ছে আমাদের গ্র্যান্ড ফিনালতে এবং ৬টা টিমকে কিন্তু হচ্ছে বাড়ির টিকিট পাঠিয়ে দেওয়া হবে এবং এইখানে কিন্তু রিঙ্কু ভাই, মাসুদ ব্রুচার আমাদের হচ্ছে মামা গেমিং, বাতেন ভাই সবাই কিন্তু এখানে ভালো খেলতেছে এবং সবাই কিন্তু এখানে তাদের পারফরম্যান্স কিন্তু শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখিয়ে আসছে। সো এখানে কিন্তু কেউই খারাপ পজিশনে নাই বা কেউ কিন্তু খারাপ কোনো স্কোয়াড নাই। সো আমি জানি না এইটা কিন্তু একটা লাস্টে এসে একদম কি বলে এটাকে জ্বালামুখী একটা ফাটতে চলেছে আজকে।
ইয়েস, ইয়েস।
সেটাই। সো রিজভি কি অবস্থা?
আপাতত আসলে যেটা দেখতেছি আসলে অনেকেই কিন্তু যে ১২টা টিম আসলে প্লেইংসে আছে সবাই কিন্তু আসলে নিজেদের বেস্ট ট্রাই করছিল, বাট কিছু প্রবলেম ছিল, কিছু নিজেদের ড্রব্যাক ছিল, কিছু প্রবলেম ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে, হয়তো সিচুয়েশন সমস্যা ছিল, এই কারণে হয়তো তারা করতে পারে না, ফাইনালের জন্য সিলেক্টেড হতে পারে না। সো সেকেন্ড চান্স দেওয়া হয়েছে এই ১২টা টিমকে এবং তারা কিন্তু আসলে এই ১২টা টিমে কিন্তু আসলে সেকেন্ড চান্সটা পাচ্ছে এবং তারা কিন্তু এখানে থেকে কিন্তু ৬টা টিম কিন্তু তাদের পারফরমেন্সের
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. A story where the skill cap is so high, where probably not everyone can be a part of it. But nonetheless, we're going to walk you through it. This is me, Salty, and with me is going to be Mamba. It's always fun when he is on board with me. But Mamba, how have you been doing and how are you enjoying the penultimate day of the competition?
Am I enjoying it? Sure, but I'm also kind of upset because, hey, man, it's been a very long journey. It's a 10-day of the tournament. And sure, the first 3 weeks were very rigorous in terms of casting it as well. But then again, when you get a break, you're like, you know what? I want this to last a little more long. And but we don't always get it. So, penultimate day, sure, the last 2 games of the day to go for. And we're going to see which teams actually make it to the finals and which teams do not. So it's going to be very exciting for me to watch. But I want to ask you, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, I guess, apart from the fact that I'm sweating profusely because the tournament, the heat is on, man. Like, this is the play-ins, and look at that. Team XP starting things off in Bermuda. B26 Mystic. This is one team that has been so consistent. They've really caught my eye, to be honest. Ambushy, I mean, they've been the same thing. They're going hand in hand with B26 Mystics, but GB2L, my word, they were in 8th spot in the points table, but with that kind of a booyah, I guess they're climbing their ranks for sure. But I mean, we know for a fact, like Mamba, the play-ins, this is where the group stages get disintegrated. This is where all of the league points table that we had, the systems we had, everything gets scrapped off. You're the lone wolf. And this is where you have the widest margin of both success and failure. It's insane the amount of pressure that's probably going on through the nerves of these players. I can't even imagine what they're going through right now, but being there and performing, who knows it better than Mamba?
Well, being out there and performing is definitely something that takes a lot of pressure because then again, you have such a massive audience watching you online. Sure, you can't feel them, but you know for a fact it's in the back of your head. You know that the world's watching you, your fans are watching you, and you need to perform. And I think the most incredible thing over here is that the competition is still very much alive because 4 matches, 4 different teams which actually went out there and got the booyah. It's still not a clear picture. Anyone can go out there and get on top. Imagine 2 back-to-back booyahs from a team which is placed 7th or 6th. They can get on top. So you never know what is going to happen. We'll hop right into the game. Of course, the map is going to be Purgatory, and Purgatory is a map which does not follow logic at all. I don't think you can predict which team is going to come on top. But then again, it's going to be very exciting for sure to see how it all actually pans out.
Absolutely. I guess Purgatory has been a map where we have seen probably the most outrageous plays of the region, but also we have seen some of the moments which scream frustration, which scream disappointment. And that just goes to show that how topsy-turvy this entire thing is. You can't even predict what's going to happen. The circles are bizarre. Like the first Purgatory map, the circle was in Marble Works, and that was like the first time in my life where I saw a circle going on towards Marble Works, because recently we've seen that the circle kind of favors the waterways, but things going towards Marble Works was pretty crazy for me. Imagine dropping onto the main island, hoping that the circle is going to be on top of you, but then you have to rotate towards the outskirts of the map itself. That is so difficult for so many other teams out there. Talking about this game, though, Central being a hot spot, once again, two teams. It's going to be Team LMC. One of the teams that has not really performed to their best of the capabilities, but I want to hear from you, Mamba. Like, what do you think? Is the miracle really possible? A team like who is at the bottom of the table right now, like a team like LMC, will they come up on top? I'm not quite sure of it.
Oh, absolutely. It's possible because, hey, man, 2 matches, 2 back-to-back booyahs, you can get in the top 6 for sure. It's not impossible, but it is something that is not that likely. So we're going to wait it out and see. But Shu, in the meantime, is going to find 2 flags for himself. And then imagine dropping down early on and then being fired at with 2 vectors being wielded by a player. That's nightmare material for you. And, you know, that's pretty much like, imagine you walk into the kitchen, right? You open the fridge, or maybe you open a box which looks like it has cookies in it, but all it has is threads and needles. And that is exactly what this feels like.
Whoa.
Utter disappointment.
Man, I'm gonna be really scared. Like, you imagine you've had these moments where you just want to get back to your bed as soon as possible after closing on the lights. I guess that is what Team Cyanide will be looking for. At the moment, they just want to switch off the lights and get the heck out of this place. But I'm not quite sure, though, if they will be able to do that, because Team LMC, they would want to get those kills for themselves. But we've seen a lot of teams, especially B26 Mystics, who have been consistent throughout the day. They're at the very top. And talking about the points table, to be honest, like, there is so much competition at the mid-table, Mamba. I can't even tell, to be honest, because the teams from 3rd and the teams from 8th, the point difference is so reachable that anything can happen in the last 2 games. And that is where the excitement actually comes in.
Yep, that is where the excitement actually comes in. That is true for sure. But right now, I'm really excited to see the early fights which are happening. Nitrox is going to be shooting away, trying to take down that glue wall, but he didn't know that there was nobody behind that wall, so that was kind of unfortunate. But nonetheless, Godspeed, he's doing okay for himself. He's going to use the inhaler, try and heal himself up. Of course, it gives you EP, it gives you HP. The EP to be converted into HP does take a bit of time, but it does work out at the end, Salty.
Absolutely, it does. Shifat has been taken down. Team Zenon is one of the teams which I was actually expecting to actually proceed towards the grand finals. Of course, performances didn't come in of that sort, but yes, they did come second in the last game. So definitely there's still hope for them. As of yet, we have Team Eclipse who are actually closing in on Team Cyanide. I'm not quite sure if they will be able to withstand the storm, because all 4 players, look at that Maruf. He has a Tommy gun in his hand. He's just going to rush in and he will take down the player. The Time Turner comes out and eventually Akib is going to fall on his knees. Only 1 player survives. Mehdi is just going to hunt him down. He will try and break off those glue walls, break all those barriers in. He'll be like Daya from Team CID and he's going to slap the heck out of him. I'm pretty sure of it.
Well, Cyanide is going to get eliminated at position number 12. That was kind of unfortunate because the player was stuck in a corner. And just with a glue wall to save himself, I think that was impeding Doom. And that is what you feel like when you're playing, you know, when you're up at 3 a.m. in the morning and you hear footsteps coming towards your room.
Oh,
that is exactly what happened with Team Cyanide over here. Impeding Doom. They got eliminated and that was kind of unfortunate.
Don't scare me, dude. I sleep all alone in my room. That's pretty scary. Like, waking up at 3 a.m. hearing footsteps.
Oh
Damn,
no,
you've been
what I
walking
meant
a lot
was
more.
your mom or your parents walking into your room when you're up at 3 a.m. on a school day trying to play a video game.
I mean, I've probably been watching a lot of horror movies, but nonetheless, we have Team Ambush Esports. I mean, this is one team which I expected them to qualify, and I guess they will eventually. Talking about the scoreboard, though, I mean, B26 Mystic does not even make any sense. The consistency is out there. 72 points up top. Ambush Esports closely following by. I mean, 47 points, for sure, there is a very big difference, but I mean, Mama, this is what we have been talking about throughout the tournament, right? We have seen that teams can't really roll out of the competition because of the fact that the points are converted into league points. But now we have scrapped that system and everyone is all by themselves. Look at the difference. 40 points and then 38, 32, 30, 26. I mean, imagine the teams at the mid-table. They have so much to fight for. They'll be like, guys, let's just give in all our life into it.
Yep, let's just give in all our life into it. And for B26, I think they're fairly comfortable with their position because they're on top. They have 72 or 76 points. I couldn't remember it. My short-term memory is abysmal. But then again, they're on the top of the leaderboard. 2 more games to go. It's not like they're going to get out of the top 6 unless... Imagine the top 5... the team from position 2nd to top position 6 actually outperforming them for both the games, and B26 is being the first team eliminated. So, as long as they're in the top 5 in both these games, they're going to qualify for the finals. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the seeding as well because there's no league stage at this point on. So, I guess just qualify, play it safe, and make sure you go out there and play your best game. You can experiment a little in the last game if you know for a fact that you're going to qualify and they can't touch you. But all in all, I think it was wonderful to see the way B26 actually started out. Because in game number 1 as well, right? They were aggressive. They couldn't get the booyah.
Yeah.
But they were aggressive. And they actually had the most amount of points after game number 1, even though they were placed second.
I remember they probably got somewhat around 13 to 14 kills, and that's insane. But I mean, with like 3 teams in very close proximity, I guess a fight would have brewed up pretty soon. But GB2L, a team which actually shocked me in the last game with the kind of booyah they had, now find themselves one-man short. Skylin, he is kind of knocked out, and I'm pretty sure that they have abandoned him. I'm pretty sure they didn't abandon him per se, but he had to be sacrificed for the team's needs. And I guess that is pretty... that is right. I don't really think that there's anything wrong in that. But Team One Man, another team which I was really looking forward to. I would have to look for where this team actually goes from here on, because we've seen like a lot of different teams. They've had the patience and perseverance to learn from the early stages of the competition. They've really improved, and Team One Man is one such team. And as I said, this tournament, the biggest stage of it all in Bangladesh, it can make or break careers at this moment. And I guess this is the time this is the ultimate test, the acid test for all these teams. They have to qualify to the grand finals if they want to be at the very best, or at least want to compete against the very best in the Bangladeshi region.
That is true. If they want to compete against the best in the country, they need to go out there and perform right now, because it's all about the glory. Sure, there's a lot of money involved as well, but at the end of the day, it's passion, it's a lot of emotions, and you want to be the best. You want the bragging rights, you can't really buy them, because you need to go out there in the server and then outperform every single team there is in the competition. So, no amount of money is going to be able to buy that. But B26, they've decided to fall back. And the reason why they've been so consistent is not because they have so much firepower to work with. Sure, they have a lot of firepower, no doubt about that. But their decision-making has been so consistent. They don't overcommit. They don't overextend. And they try and take the best fight possible. Look at Bladers. Sure, he saw one player go in. He saw the second one go in as well. He could have maybe overcommitted. He did not. Doesn't matter if you get the kill right now or not, but eventually you will. And I think that is the most important thing that players can learn from B26, because they know when not to push and when to hold themselves back. Because I believe that it is just as important, actually even more so, to know when not to push rather than just knowing when to push.
100% agreed, man. I guess it is so important when not to push, that if you make a wrong move, you might be taken down. But it's like, if you push in, that's your decision. And if you make some errors in making your decision, you're probably gone out of the server. But right now, we have 3 teams. Once again, as I said, I guess team number 3, that's going to be Team LMC. They're actually closely following the fight that has been brewing up. Team number 4 is here as well. And the kind of position where Team B26 was actually stuck in, it's actually pretty difficult for them to actually move out. But talking about the MVP, though, we have Fleps with 2 kills. Not really a number that actually stands out, but I mean, the kind of support he provides to the team is just insane.
A lot of times it's actually not about the number of kills you get, but it's the impact of those frags. Now, these 2 kills could have come in at a point where, it was imperative that he got those kills, otherwise his squad could have been wiped out. Imagine a situation where he had to get 2 kills and 3 of his players were down, and he had to save his team. If he died, his team would be eliminated. But if he got those 2 kills, his entire team would survive. So a lot of times it's not just the number, but it's the gravity of the situation. And in this case, it was definitely the gravity of the situation. So well played on his part. And I believe he absolutely deserves the title of the MVP for the last game. But moving on to this one, we're only 10 minutes in. We still have 11 teams and 38 players alive. and not a lot of fights going on. So Purgatory is definitely turning out to be a topsy-turvy map where making a prediction is a far-fetched dream, but even having some semblance of sanity in terms of which team is doing what, I think even that is too hard to come by.
I mean, yeah, I expected Purgatory to be at least a bit more free-flowing, teams flowing into combat a bit more easily, but the kind of raw and methodical this map has been, especially since the first minute, it is actually quite surprising. 11 teams surviving at 38 plays still on board. That is a very unique number, especially when you think of the tournament perspective. We have seen Purgatories just blow out. We have seen matches get finished in probably like the 5th or the 6th circle, but imagine this. B26, I guess they are... Okay, so it's not B26, it's Team XP who is on the receiving end of some shots from Team Riot. One of the teams we actually praised a lot, especially in the week 1, but the performances have been on a declining curve. But now they find themselves in the crunch situation. They have to perform at this point because this is clutch or die situation at the moment. They have so many teams right in front of them. Team LMC, they have Team B26, and so many others. It's like a rainbow in my minimap. And Team Riot, if they have to survive at this point, I guess the only option is to go in and combat because they can't fall back, Mama. Look at the waterway. It really cuts off their option of actually falling back. Also, Team One Man is approaching right behind them. So there is definitely the option of rotating or falling back. They either have to clutch or they either have to die.
They either have to clutch or they either have to die. That is true for sure. But right now, Brasilia does have Ambush Esports. Are they going to push in though? I don't think they're going to push in right now because they don't need to. Look at the... Oh, God. Look at the UAV. That's going to reveal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. And I can only see... already see GB2L and LMC be like, oh, man. Where are we going to go? They're already panicking. And that's going to be very unfortunate.
I mean, the circle, nothing is really working out. The Free Fire gods are so angry on these teams. I'm probably sure of it. The UAV and then this circle in itself, it cuts off so many teams out there. I guess Team LMC, GB2L, Team Xenon, Team XV, One Man, Team ECL. All of these teams are outside the circle. Team Riot, they will find themselves a little pocket of space. I'm not quite sure though if they will be able to utilize it to their fullest because they have so many teams up front. Extreme EXE is one of the teams who can really shatter their stronghold, but then we'll have to wait till the fight actually brews up. We have Team Mask Boys who are pretty close to Team GB2L at the moment. The Cruise will still try and hold on. This entire team, to be honest, I would like this team to just stay calm and collected because we have seen that kills in Purgatory especially, they come as a byproduct of your positioning. So if you actually get yourself a decent positioning in the final circle, you'll get a lot of kills per se. But look at Team LMC though. This rotation can be very risky because especially Team Eclipse, they're kind of a position. They have these pillars to actually work around. Some sort of cover, but Team LMC, they don't have anything to play with. Only their glue walls and their time turners.
Only the glue walls and the time turners, that is for sure. But then look at Maroof. He's going to find a knock for himself. Extreme is going to be finished. And that's going to be unfortunate. But then again, ECL not holding back with regards to the fight they wanted to take, and Romjon is going to be pushing in. Shuo might actually not realize there's a backstab coming in. He's going to get spotted. Is he going to survive though? That is going to be the question. And Romjon not wanting to come in. He was kind of scared of taking the fight. And I believe that ECL definitely had a chance to take them on. But okay, nonetheless, Shuo is still going to get knocked out. And maybe they could have actually taken the entire team down over there if we talk about Team LMC. But yeah. I think being a little passive didn't really hurt them because eventually they didn't manage to get a frag for themselves. And then, sure, they will find the entire team going out there being finished. LMC is going to go out. That is exactly what we were talking about a while back. So being passive didn't really backfire, but sure, they could have done it a little earlier and moving quickly. But nonetheless, we have Mask inside the zone. They are trying to survive. GB2L in the meantime is trying to take a fight. Da Cruz is going to push in. Yes, indeed, he is going to push in, but can he survive though? Look at the glue walls coming. Team X8 is going to be eliminated. Position number 10. 9 teams, 31 players, 3 minutes on the clock. Salty, what do you think is going to happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, use your seatbelt because we are going on a ride, to be honest, right now. B26 just spamming their bullets. Just hear those gunshots. They completely obliterate one player from Team ECL. Now only Maroof is still surviving, but I guess eventually Team GB2L is just going to swallow him up. They're hurting up, but eventually it's going to be Bladers though. with the sniper rifle through the glue wall. He finds the shot and gets the kill. B26 with 5 kills already. They're already on board to take this map in their pockets, but will they be able to do so? The circle is already not in their favor. Some of the teams, they will be out there gatekeeping B26. For example, Team Extreme EXE. Look at their positioning. They're looking like hunters in the Wild West. They can eventually shut down teams coming in from outside the circle. But then we have Team Ambush Esports as well. And also, we have to talk about Team Riot. These two teams have such a good stronghold inside the zone itself. Mask Gibbon, he has the Max 7 to work with. It is not a spray and pray moment for him. He probably has to be patient and precise. But that is going to be the question. Will he be able to do so? He has one player who is down on his knees, Bilal. He's trying his best to make him, to revive him, but eventually he's going to fall. Team Mask Boys get taken down. Team Xenon has been taken down as well. Team Riot though, they are almost at the center of the circle and they can eventually dish out a lot of damage to the other team. Just look at the kills that they're getting. GB2 and they're being wiped out one after the other. It's not GB12, it's B26. 2 players down, only 1 player survived. That is the tabletopper being dished out so much damage, almost being obliterated to pieces. I can't even imagine that this is the real ruthlessness of Purgatory.
Yep, this is the real ruthlessness of Purgatory. That is well said, but Sure is not going to stop shooting. Team Riot in pristine position of getting this booyah. They have solid cover. They have the zone in their favor, but they have the low ground. That's the only concern away. But I do believe that, well, they can play it out. And sure, Extreme EX might be a problem. At the same time, they are being shot at by Ambush Esports. But Sure and the rest of the company can definitely survive over here. And look at that, Maroof is going to find a frag for himself. Nitrox is going to get taken down, but Ambush Esports wanting to strike back. Alvi is barely surviving over the clinging on to his life by a hair strand. 4 HP to work with, but Maroof is going to go down. And look at that though, the backstab. Oh my goodness, Loser coming in and so smart, but he's going to get taken down. But that was enough time for Ambush Esports to try and move in, but at the same time, they are being shot at from the high, from the upper area. Alvi is going to fall down, right? You are trying to go, and he's going to get knocked down because of the zone, and the zone punishing them so bad. It's going to come down to EXE all alone. I mean, sure, they have the entire squad alive, but they have 4 men, 4v2. We know what's going to happen. EXE definitely trying to come out on top, and Hamim is going to find a fight. He's going to find a flag for himself. He's going to come down to Maroof in a 1v4. Can he pull it off, though? That is going to be the question. Will try and stay alive. Does use a nade launcher, but he is being shot at from multiple directions. How is he still alive? How is the Mazel surviving? Trying to take a couple of shots. He will fall down eventually. That was so incredible. The kind of fight that went on right now was just so hard to keep track of that even we ran out of breath. And I will definitely need a lung insurance given the fights the way they have been going. And, the booyah coming in. I mean, the last fight, especially the last zone, was incredibly intense.
I mean, you saw the positioning, right? Team Riot, they had to tackle, They had to tackle Extreme EXE. They had to tackle Ambush Esports, who were up on the bridge. They had to tackle Team One Man, who were coming in to backstab them. That's a trinity of teams coming right at you, trying to take you down. But eventually, I guess they got Team One Man. But in the process, they couldn't really enter the zone. It was a very well-fought game for them, to be honest. But Extreme EXE, pristine position, pristine gameplay in terms of gunfire. And I guess they deservedly get the booyah. I guess this is one team whom I really expected to not just qualify to the finals through the plains, but to qualify directly to the grand finals. But eventually they didn't really manage to do so. But I guess in the play-ins, they have the optimum stage or the platform to prove themselves.
Yep, definitely. The plains part of the tournament is definitely where you got to prove yourself, because, hey man, if you're good enough, you would have directly qualified for the finals. You wouldn't even have to play in the plains and just sit down, have a cup of coffee, watch the teams play, try and break down the strategies. But of course, if you're playing in the plains, which means that you're not, it doesn't mean you're bad. It's just that there were teams which qualified before you, but there's still one more chance that's been given to you, and you need to go and grab that opportunity. Because if you can't grab this opportunity, then maybe you can't really. Were you supposed to play in the finals in the first place? Because these teams are ruthless. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. Give them an opening, they're going to violate it. So, Salty, I do believe that you need to be on your A game at all times, especially during the plains and the grand finals.
Absolutely. I guess the plains are some sort of wild card, but eventually, when it comes to teams like this, it's not like you are coming in from you're coming into a position where you can't really play. You're coming in where you have had made, I would say, silly mistakes in the past, but it's time for you to make amends right now. And I guess some of the teams have really done that. They've really improved. It's not quite like a very significant shift in terms of mechanical skills. It's those small things, those micro decisions that you take that can probably change or break the game itself.
Well, they can definitely change or break, change the game, make or break the game. But then EXE, the way they played was just incredible. And then again, I always talk about the 4-man advantage in the end zone in the last circle. And we saw that. We saw that come up because the way they played was just incredible. And they overpowered the opposition. Imagine yourself in a 1v4. How do you survive with that? You just don't.
I mean, he had the grenade launcher. I had some sort of hopes, to be honest. But even then, with the grenade launcher, I guess it's quite difficult to actually survive the onslaught. I mean, we've seen that quite in the past, but this map, Mamba, Purgatory, it was not the usual Purgatory that we used to see. I mean, there was almost like 0 early game fights. We had some fight in Central, but that's about it. We literally had no other early game fight. So that just goes to show that these teams, there is still a lot in stake. I guess this is the elimination. We actually gonna leave behind some of the teams. So I guess everyone is still trying to just tone down their aggression a bit, get those placement points and get their positions secured. We still have to look out for the top 6, Mamba.
We definitely have to look out for the top 6. And, it's not going to be over until the Fat Lady sings. And that is exactly what we wanted for the Plains. Because then again, if we know for a fact these are the teams which are qualifying, what's the point of watching the last couple of games? Right now, we actually don't know which are the teams that are going to qualify. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we are definitely in for a ride. And while the plane takes off in the last map of the day, which is going to be Kalahari, we're going to serve a lot of hot action. So make sure you guys sit tight because there's a lot of turbulence. And usually flights don't serve hot beverages while there is a lot of turbulence because you're going to burn yourself. But I'm the pilot, I'm the captain, and I don't really care if people burn themselves because this match is going to be intense.
This match is certainly going to be intense, Mama. The flight path, it serves so much justice to the players, giving them all the freedom. They can go any particular location they want and drop their loot for their dear life and then just fight for it. We have the high tier loot zone in confinement. A few of the teams will probably be aiming to go there. As of yet, I can see Team XP and Mask Boys. Team XP, I mean, not a very surprising performance coming in from them in the play-ins, but I would expect this team to make a comeback. But Team Mask Boys, they are actually committing towards a high-tier loot zone. We have 3 teams in the high-tier loot zone, Mamba, in confinement. We might have some early aggression going in as soon as possible, and I have no idea what's happening. Kalahari was not supposed to be so aggressive, but Team Riot, they are very much in this fight, taking in a little bit of damage. Team GB2L is out there as well. Skylight, look at Skylight. He's just trying to stay passive, not really participating in the fight. Well, he's chilling out. He's chilling out on the roof.
He doesn't care. See, there are a lot of times where you just gotta lay low, let the storm pass, and that is what is happening. So right now, Aeon is gonna try and take a couple of pot shots on one of the players of GB2L. Oh, look at that, the scope spam coming in. And for everyone who doesn't know what the scope spam is, it actually helps you lock on to the enemy better, especially when he's behind foliage. So imagine there's a tree, there's a lot of grass between you and the opponent. Just scope spam. The aim assist will do its job. And instead of connecting headshots, sure, you might not be able to dish out a lot of damage, but you will still put a lot. Oh, look at this though. The stack coming in, and that is that going? Wait, what? Oh man!
I almost thought it would work. I guess they're trying to.
It is going to work. They have a glue wall to work with. It is going to work for a fact.
No way! This is going to be insane. If this happens, I am not going to believe my eyes. But eventually, Skylight, he was terrified that these guys might actually pull that off. He jumps out of the roof, but eventually, I guess he will not be able to cling on to his dear life. Mask Boys, so they are actually going to a position where Team Riot might just eliminate them. Gibbon realizes that he has a hand cannon to work with, can dish out a lot of damage. I realize that few of the grenades are actually coming in. Oh my god, that was a hand cannon from Maroof. It takes down Gibbon. Gibbon couldn't really get the opportunity to use his own, but now Nibir, he has to come into the action. The entirety of Mask Boys, they're so disintegrated, I'm not quite sure that they will be able to provide any sort of trade for them, but Shuvo, he's taking a little bit of damage. He might get knocked out. Team Riot though, they are clustered up together. They have the entirety to work with, and I guess they have the proper advantage of having 4 pairs of eyes.
They have the proper advantage of having 4 pairs of eyes. That is true. But Mask, they've lost out on a player. They still have 3 players alive, and they can definitely go out and take these fights because they have an M82. They have a couple of nice assault rifles. Oh, look at the VSS onto Aeon. The question is, are they going to utilize the weaponry, or are they going to play it safe? Because, I mean, imagine having 1 kill and being the kill leader.
I mean, that's true. But Mask Boys, I guess, they have the freedom to actually fall back. The kind of compound confinement is you can actually fall back, but Team Eclipse, they are approaching this entire region. Eventually, they find out that there are 2 teams in vicinity and probably not participate in the fight whatsoever. Bilal actually takes enough with the...
Whoa!
Oh my god, look at Bilal. He's actually shotting those grenades. How many does he get? How many does he get? I couldn't crack a fit. How many did he get?
He got one, but it still worked. The fact that he sacrificed himself to connect that nade, it actually worked out. But Tonwa is going to finish him off. Shuo being finished off over there. Riot is definitely in for a pinch. But ECL off to a flying start. Now the question is, are they going to keep up with the momentum and try and push the teams that walk in their way? Will they move them down? Or are they going to fall back and play a little more safe? But Fresh in the meantime is going to find a frag on a TXP Ali. So here's the thing. All these top teams are actually fighting it out, battling it out. But Mehdi, in the meantime, of obviously having the dual vectors to work with, he's going to try and finish the opponent. Maroof is literally standing right in front of him, trying to bait him out, but is that going to work out? Romjan is going to try and push in. And, well, just finishing what his teammate did. Or they're cleaning up the mess. Yeah, it is a high loot area, so they're going to find a lot of weapons to work with. But we do have a player from Mask Boy staying alive. But the question is he going to fight? Is he going to fight or is he going to run away?
I mean, of course, there is no question whatsoever. You probably have to run away, but provided the circumstances, I'm not quite sure if he will be able to do so. But Team LMC again go against Team Cyanide. It's like a match made in heaven. But oh my god, I almost saw the Shuo. I mean, that was a fatal error, to be honest, but thankfully he did survive. But Team Cyanide, the kind of position they're in, it will be very difficult for Team LMC to actually go on the aggressive route. But Mask Boys, the last remaining survivor, he'll get taken down eventually. Team Eclipse, that is a proper strategy, Mamba, to be honest. Not dropping in the high tier loot zone, not dropping inside the blue circle, but eventually making your way in and feeding on the leftovers. You not only get a lot of guns for yourself, but also a lot of kills, because some of the teams, they're actually half injured in that particular position after their initial fights, and that just gives you so much advantage to work with, especially when you come in from outside that particular area. But look at that, this fight between Team Cyanide and Team LMC, this is some long distance Cold War going on.
That is true. That is it's definitely not a Cold War though. I mean, there were live bullets being exchanged. Cold War is more like, just pressuring the other team, pressuring a third team to fight with them. That's actually a proxy war, but let's not get into it. Right now, sure, LMC was trying to go out there and get a couple of kills for themselves. They are going to fall back, and there's Monster Truck. Let's go. Monster Truck action, is that going to come in? That's the question. Sure, though. Wait, was that on purpose? I don't think so.
Even I'm not quite sure of it, but we have a lot of teams approaching Command Post at the moment. We have Team LMC, of course. We have Team Cyanide. We have Team Extreme EXE who come into the mix at the moment. Command Post, we have known for it traditionally to be a very high aggressive, a high traffic area. But so early on in the game, that actually surprises me. I mean, especially the way we saw Purgatory roll out. Kalahari being more aggressive than that, it does surprise me, to be honest. But now Team Extreme EXE are going to take their hand and go against Team LMC. Not really dishing out a lot of damage, but the sniper battle is still on, Mamba. And I guess it's going to drag on. I mean, long distance fight, we never really come to a closure or to a conclusion of some long distance fight very early on. It just usually tends to drag on forever and ever. Eventually, after 5 novels and a movie, I guess we might be able to see the conclusion of it.
But you only find out the actual conclusion in the next episode. So you got to wait it out, man. You got to wait it out for the last game to go on and finish while we do the calculations in the back end for which team is going to qualify, because the numbers are going to be tight. And I believe that there are going to be some ties coming in. So position points, skill points are definitely going to be very important. The balance between the two. And imagine a case where there's a tie between the 6th and the 7th team. Just imagine. The back end team will actually sweat bullets trying to figure it out. And making sure that the decision was correct. They would check, double check, and then triple check, because you know what, the fate of the team lies in their hands. But nonetheless, we have B26 right now taking a fight, and they are in the danger zone. They need to fall back. They need to get themselves into cover, because if they get knocked out because of oh lord, they need to fall back. They definitely need to fall back into cover.
I'm not quite sure if they have some sort of hard cover with them, but eventually a lot of fights are actually starting to brew up. Team Cyanide, they have Team GB2L right in front of them. GB2L, kind of well split up. They have a lot of angles to cover, but in the same sense, they don't really have a lot of trade potential going on. I guess if one player ventures out in the open, he will get taken down, and eventually there will be nothing that they can do. LMC, though, confirming a kill. A lot of kills are actually going on in the background, Mama. I guess a lot of teams are exchanging bullets, a lot of teams are exchanging knocks, but not a lot of kills are actually coming through. Those knocks are being revived and the players are still surviving. I guess that aggressive gameplay which we got to see in the league stages, where especially if you get one knock, the entire team pushes in. That is one kind of gameplay which we're not really getting to see in the play-ins.
That is true, but we have Arki who's going to try and take a couple of shots and just working very hard towards getting a knock with Blade from South. Oh, what? That was so unfortunate. That was actually pretty.
That was
reckless.
Impressive, to be honest. That was,
no, the flank was impressive for sure, but the player who was standing there was so reckless.
That is true. I guess Team Cyanide, though, did they get one early squad wipe for themselves? Team GB2L, I was really surprised the way they got the booyah in the third. I guess it was the fourth game nonetheless, but couldn't really carry on that momentum. And I guess that is the reason why they might actually miss out on a berth to the grand finals. But we have to see which are the teams who actually get the tickets to the grand finals. I mean, tickets, ironically, because this is not going to be a LAN event, but I mean, aspirations.
Yep, aspirations for sure, but we have about 9 minutes left on the clock. Not even 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes left on the clock. We have Ambush Esports going on a long rotation towards Santa Catrina. They're going to be safe. Literally nobody is fighting towards the eastern semicircle. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually not even going to bother counting teams. I'll just have a look. 10 teams, and 9 of them are towards the west.
I mean, look at the circle, Mama. This is quite towards the eastern end of the map, and that just goes to show that the circles have been pretty wild. Command post, though, there is still a lot of hope. A few of the teams are actually there inside the command post, and the rest of them, they will eventually make their way in. But talking about the points table, look at that, the top 6. These are going to be your teams. And look at that, Team 6 and Team 7. Also Team 8, also Team 9, also Team 10. The difference between them is just 8 points, Mamba. 1 point difference between Team Extreme EXE and Team XP. This is as harsh as it can get. And I have no words for this.
Well, this is definitely turning out to be quite a ride, because we have Cyanide waiting right below the watchtower. And while there is a lot of distraction coming in, Spartan is going to push in, though. I do believe that Spartan has given away his position. Do they have nades? I don't think so, but Arthur is going to get knocked out because of the zone. And Arthur was definitely the one in game number 2. Actually, oh no, it was actually game number 1 where he was the MVP for his team because of the fight that he survived. The first fight itself. But nonetheless, Spartan is going to push out, though. Is going to be the question. And wait, hold on a minute. I'm not quite sure what the idea is over here for Cyanide, or not even Cyanide, but actually LMC. Cyanide. No. Cyanide staying on top. Sure, they're waiting it out, but we do have Spartan right below them. So I'm actually very confused about what's going on.
I mean, provided they had one single grenade to work with and it was accurate, the life could have been so much different for Team Cyanide. They won't really have it. I guess the grenades are quite short on their pockets, but we have a lot of teams to talk about, and especially this team, B26. The way they've been able to channelize their aggression at the right moment and being able to get kills of them, it's just incredible. The consistency is on point. Talking about the MVP, though, we have Kazi from Team Extreme EXE. His brilliance in the last game did give his team a very good booyah to work with, but they still don't really have a lot of breathing ground, Mama. We remember how they were so tight in the 6th spot, with another team closely following in, having just a 1 point difference. That is just so hard. Imagine someone else just behind you when you're running a race, and he's just milliseconds behind you, and if you slip up, you're as good as taking out of this entire tournament. This is the biggest stage of it all for Bangladesh Free Fire, and I'm pretty sure Extreme EXE don't want to miss out a berth in the grand finals.
Yep, a berth in the grand finals. I mean, at this point, you should already be aiming for the crown of the grand finals, but XP is actually going to be eliminated over there, and that's going to be so unfortunate. Mehdi, while he's waiting it out inside the zone, inside the house, he will have to eventually push out, but ECL, they have 5 kills for themselves. They're in a decent position. Mehdi's going to peek out, does try to get a kill for himself, but Nitrox is nade launcher coming in, and Maroof, trying to be very sneaky, but Romchan is going to get taken down. It's all going to come down to Maroof, who's going to try and stay alive. Does have the SVD, but it's going to fall down. And Eclipse TRB being eliminated as well. 14 minutes on the clock, 8 teams, 27 players. Salty, what do you think?
I mean, this is going to turn into a very, very wild competition. I can't even predict which team is going to win this out because the positioning is absurd. All these teams are actually clustered up. Anything can happen in these particular fights. Noobi actually goes down. This team one man who is doing a very decent job at this moment. I guess Loser, he confirmed the kill of B26's Noobi at the moment. It is going to be a man advantage for them. 3v4 certainly works in their favor. Extreme EX being taken down in the 7th spot. This could actually shape up this entire tournament, but I'm not quite sure. This is going to be Bladers and Shots. Both of them, they just walk by. They are going to fire by with the SMGs and take a lot of kills for themselves. They have 2 kills though. Team one man, they probably have 2 players to work with, or probably not even 1. I'm not quite sure of it, but there is just a frenzy of kills happening. Team one man still surviving by the skin of their teeth. Konok is still out there. Cyanide taking so much damage from Team Xenon at the moment. I guess the snipers are going to come in, and although he still has something to work with, he has the compound for himself. This is going to be that real estate that can change your destiny. I guess Team Xenon might just get a booyah in this one. And with this booyah, I believe, Mamba, that they can shape up the points table towards their favor. But then look at the circle. Both B26 as well as Team One Man, both of them are going to be in so much trouble. Bladers trying to cling on to his dear life, but eventually it's going to be Shupon with his M249. He's going to shut him down and will confirm the final lane in the coffin. But now 3 teams and 6 players, Mama. As you said, we did go on a ride. It wasn't...
Well, we did go on a ride, but we have Lamine over here. Yep, Lamine being knocked out over there, but Chupan in the meantime is going to try and take a couple of shots. The M249 pressure, this, waiting it out now. It's going to come down to the last zone, and 3 teams, 6 players. What is going to happen? Thresher, if he plays it smart, he actually can walk away with the booyah. All he needs to do is just wait it out. He does have a nade launcher to work with as well. Just be patient. Just wait for the right moment and use a nade launcher. If he doesn't manage to connect the first shot, he might actually live. He needs to take down the guy on the top. Or is he not going to do that? He's going to use his glue wall. Though just playing around the glue wall. He needs to use a nade launcher. He does use it, but will take himself down or what? Oh, Lord. That was so unfortunate. That was so unfortunate.
I mean, Team Xenon, they did get the booyah, but that was close. That was close, especially when you said that he should be using the grenade launcher. I was like, why aren't you pulling the trigger, man? You should be pulling the trigger. They're coming out of the glue walls. They're all clustered up. One shot, one clear shot, you're dead.
That is true. One shot, you're dead. I do believe he could have, while the guy on top was fighting the guys on bottom, he could have used nade launcher towards the side of the glue wall, but he didn't. And I guess that's fair because there's a lot of pressure while, being in a position like that. So I believe that's completely okay, but sure, it could have been played in a better way, but all in all, what a matchup. We're going to have a look at the replays as well while we try and break down what actually happened in the game and we try and come up with the scorecard. So let's have a look at the replay first and see what happened. Salty, why don't you walk us through this?
The early fight was actually insane, to be honest. I didn't really expect so much action to brew out in confinement. I guess 3 teams dropped in simultaneously, and then a 4th walked by. Team Right, they had so much kills. They really had a good positioning, but Team Eclipse, they're like the party poopers in the group, and they completely walked past Team Right, and they had nothing to do, to be honest. Team Cyanide, though, they had good position throughout the game. They got kills for themselves. Team GB2L has been one of the teams. They suffered in the early game, in the early fight. They suffered in the mid game, and I'm not quite sure where did they end in, which position did they end in, but eventually I'm not... Okay, so yeah, they did get taken down 11 spots, which is not quite impressive, but... yeah, I mean, they didn't really have a very good outing, especially after the booyah which they got. I really had my hopes high, but eventually this is as far as they go. I'm not quite sure if they're qualifying. I don't really think they're qualifying though. But Team Eclipse, This was one good fight. I almost thought that Maruf will be able to make it out, but eventually this is some weird thing which happened over here. He just walked past, shooting in a different direction. Couldn't really confirm his shots in the final stage, but P26 and the fight between Team One Man. This was where the entirety of the action brewed up. The map was being flushed out of players. Teams were being wiped out left and right. And I'm pretty sure that we probably wiped out of at least like 4 or 5 teams in such quick succession.
That is true indeed. But talking about extend, ooh, look at that. While he was mid-air, getting that shot was incredible. But then here, instead of using his sniper, he could have definitely used his nade launcher because the Zoro was going to cut him out from the left. And Fresher could have, he could have played it a million times better because imagine a situation where there are 3 guys waiting for you on top. All you got to do is just connect the nade launcher on the roof of the watchtower. That's it. Those were 3 easy kills for him. I'm not quite sure why he didn't do that, but I guess when he looks at it, he's going to beat himself to death. Just trying to figure out a situation where he was the hero for his team in this matchup and being the protagonist, getting, 5 kills at the end of the last circle. Would have been heroic, sure. But then again, it all comes down to ifs and buts. There are a lot of storylines which are missed out, but we've seen a lot of storylines build themselves up as well. So I'm really excited to see which teams actually qualify for the grand finals because the teams which have already made it are some of the best teams out there. But of course, we're going to talk about that. We'll crunch the numbers for you guys. But then again, Solly, as I mentioned, the real climax, the real conclusion is always on the other side of the break. So ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We will crunch the numbers on the other side and we will be right back.
ওয়েলকাম টু এফএফবিসি 2021 এর প্লেইংসে। আমরা কিন্তু প্লেইংসে চলে এসেছি এবং আপনাদের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা আছি অ্যাজ ইউজুয়াল এবং আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু আজকে স্পেশাল গেস্ট আছে। তার সাথে আমরা পরিচয় করে দিব। প্রথমে আমার পরিচয়টা দিয়ে দিই। আমি আছি অনন্য মাসুদ আপনাদের সাথে এবং আমাদের সাথে রয়েছে কিন্তু সারফরাজ, রিঙ্কু ভাই, বুচার্স এবং আমাদের স্পেশাল গেস্ট সে কিন্তু আর কেউ না গাইজ, আপনাদের সবার পরিচিত, সবার ভালোবাসার মামা গেমিং। হ্যালো রাকিব ভাই, কি অবস্থা?
কি অবস্থা? আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কি অবস্থা? সবাইকে স্বাগতম এফএফবিসি 2021 এর প্লে-ইনসে। আর আজকে কিন্তু ধামাকা হতে চলেছে। কি মনে হয় রিঙ্কু ভাই?
It's great. So রাকিব ফার্স্ট টাইম এখানে আসছেন। সো রাকিব ভাইকে সবাই কংগ্রেচুলেশন জানাই এখানে আসার জন্য মামা গেমিং ফার্স্ট টাইম। এন্ড আমরা ওকে জানাবো কি হচ্ছে কি না হচ্ছে। তার আগে সারফরাজ, মাসুদ, বুচার, আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করতে চাচ্ছি কি হবে কি না হবে প্লেইংসে আজকে। সো ফার্স্ট অফ অল তোমরা জানোই যে 6টা গ্রুপ অলরেডি চলে গেছে না। সো বাকি 12টা গ্রুপ আছে এন্ড এই 12টা গ্রুপ থেকে নেক্সট 6টা গ্রুপ আর কি 6টা টিম ওরা সিলেক্ট হবে। সো দেখা যাক কাহিনী কি হয়। সো হোয়াট ইউ থিংক গাইস, কে কি হইতে পারে বা কি হতে চলেছে আজকে?
আমি একটা এখানে একটু অ্যাড করতে চাই গাইজ। হ্যালো আবার সবাইকে আবার আমিও একবার স্বাগতম জানাই নিচ্ছি আমাদের হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ চ্যাম্পিয়নশিপের 2021 এর সবাইকে একবার স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। আমি সারফরাজ আপনাদের সাথে আছি। আর আজকে কিন্তু আমরা কথা বলতে যাচ্ছি আমাদের প্লেসে যে 12টা টিম খেলতেছে তাদের একটা শেষ লড়াই। আমি বলবো না যে শেষ লড়াই, কজ এখানে কিন্তু 12টা টিম খেলবে এবং 12টা টিম সরাসরি এদের মধ্যে থেকে 6টা টিম কিন্তু অলরেডি চলে যাবে হচ্ছে আমাদের গ্র্যান্ড ফিনালতে এবং 6টা টিমকে কিন্তু হচ্ছে বাড়ির টিকিট পাঠিয়ে দেওয়া হবে। এবং এইখানে কিন্তু রিঙ্কু ভাই, মাসুদ, বুচার, আমাদের হচ্ছে মামা গেমিং, বাতেন ভাই সবাই কিন্তু এখানে ভালো খেলতেছে এবং সবাই কিন্তু এখানে তাদের পারফরমেন্স কিন্তু শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখিয়ে আসছে। সো এখানে কিন্তু কেউই খারাপ পজিশনে নাই বা কেউ কিন্তু খারাপ কোনো স্কোয়াড নাই। সো আমি জানি না এইটা কিন্তু একটা লাস্টে এসে একদম কি বলে এটাকে জ্বালামুখী একটা ফাটতে চলেছে আজকে।
সেটাই। সো রিজভি, কি অবস্থা?
আপাতত আসলে যেটা দেখতেছি আসলে অনেকেই কিন্তু যে 12টা টিম আসলে প্লেইংসে আছে সবাই কিন্তু আসলে নিজেদের বেস্ট ট্রাই করছিল, বাট কিছু প্রবলেম ছিল, কিছু নিজেদের ড্রব্যাক ছিল, কিছু প্রবলেম ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে, হয়তো সিচুয়েশন সমস্যা ছিল, এই কারণে হয়তো তারা করতে পারে না, ফাইনালের জন্য সিলেক্টেড হতে পারে না। সো সেকেন্ড চান্স দেওয়া হয়েছে এই 12টা টিমকে এবং তারা কিন্তু আসলে এই 12টা টিমে কিন্তু আসলে সেকেন্ড চান্সটা পাচ্ছে এবং তারা কিন্তু এখানে থেকে কিন্তু 6টা টিম কিন্তু তাদের পারফরমেন্সের উপর ভিত্তি করে কিন্তু নেক্সট গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালেতে কিন্তু সিলেক্টেড হবে। সো দেখা যাক, আমরা আসলে এটা নিয়ে ডিসকাস করব, দেখা যাক কার কি ফল্ট ছিল।
রিঙ্কু ভাই, সারফরাজ, আমরা প্লেইংসে 12টা টিমের নাম কিন্তু আমরা জানি। আমরা সেটা একবার বলে দিই সেটা সবাইকে। আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু খেলছে GB12, মাস্ক বয়েজ।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Ranjit Mohammed Sina Patel, and alongside me, of course, I have the Wizard of Words, He is none other than Salty. And now we're going to crash the numbers for you guys and see which teams have made it to the finals, which are the final 12 teams which are going to battle it out for the crown of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship, and how it's all going to turn out. But before we do that, we are going to head on to the map recap and see which were the teams which actually went out there and performed, got the booyahs. XP, B26, Ambush, GB12, Extreme, and Zenin. 6 games, 6 different teams, Salty.
I mean, in the ideal world, or probably in the parallel universe, these 6 teams should have qualified to the grand finals, but I'm not quite sure if that's the case, to be honest, because there are certain teams who definitely were consistent but couldn't really get those booyahs, couldn't really get those crunch moments work for them. But that's not all about it. I guess Free Fire, or any battle royale for that matter, is all about consistency, how you get those placement points as well as skill points in every game that you play, in every map that you play. The way your team is constructed, the way you guys have synergy in between them, that is all about it. And I guess that is the reason why I feel some of the teams who didn't really get the booyah for themselves, I guess, even they might qualify.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be consistent. It doesn't matter if you get a booyah or not. Imagine 6 games where you end up in the top 3 with a decent number of kills. You can actually very well be on the top of the scoreboard, because not every team is going to get a booyah every game. And, all that matters is how long have you been consistent. And right now, teams actually had a very low bar to aim for, being in the top 6. But what makes it so difficult is the fact that these are some of the best teams in the tournament. And, everyone's fighting it out to qualify for the grand finals. And that is what makes it all the more difficult or Salty. The question is, are you ready for the final standings? Because I am. I can't wait any longer. So let's have a look at the final standings and see which are the teams which have qualified. Starting off with B26, Ambush, Riot, GB2L, and Extreme EX. But we do have a tie. And the tie.
Wait, man. I mean, this, my heart is paining at the moment. Or I'm not quite sure what's happening right now, but look at the difference, man. 47, like a matter of 1 kill, a matter of 1 placement point, which completely differs Team 1 man's qualification to the grand finals. I have no words, to be honest, Mamba. Sure, B26, Mystics, Ambush, Riot, all of these teams played really, really well. GB2L especially, a team who came in from the 8th position to like the 4th position in a matter of like 2 games. That's incredible. But you gotta feel for Team 1, man. I mean, if you have a heart, I mean, all the audience out there, everyone in Bangladesh Free Fire, you gotta feel for Team 1, man.
Oh, that is true. But then look at position number 4 and position number 5. Even they are tied out at 48 points. It's literally thinner than a hair's margin. It cannot get any closer than this. 4 teams tying it out at the last 4 positions. How do you even deal with something like this? So, of course, it's very close. Imagine just 1 point here and there, and a team might have actually lost out in qualification. If you look at GB2L, they have the exact same placement points, exact same kill points. How? Just tell me how. If they had to differentiate, if GB2L and Team Zenin were on 6th and 7th, what do? You take average placements. You take average placements, and then you see which was the team that was on top. But that would have been incredibly difficult. I'm fairly certain when the league ops actually saw this, they took a sigh of relief that it's not 6 and 7 that actually had to make the decision between. But all in all, no, very close margin, and what an incredible day of incredible Free Fire action. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys enjoyed the show, enjoyed all the action. That's not it. We always have a small gift for all the viewers. We talk about it. But at the same time, of course, we have all the social media handles that you guys should go on and follow us on. We'll talk about that as well. But Salty, I want to come to you, and I want to ask you this question. The action we had today, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, as I said, it was methodical. Sure, a lot of teams did try to go aggressive, but then something which really, really surprised me was Team B26. The way they actually pressed the kill switch when it actually mattered. That was really interesting. I guess if they actually carry on this kind of form in the grand finals, I guess they will have a very decent chance of getting the, who knows, the tags of Bangladeshi champs.
Yep. The tag of the champion in that country. And I think the biggest honor is the fact that when you can go out there and prove yourself and call yourselves the champions. But of course, we can have a look at the final teams which are going to be playing it out on the grand finals. The 12 teams which have qualified, they're on your screens: Electro, B26, Infinity, Ambush, Riot, Agent, Jawbreakers, Salty. I can go on and on about these teams. Each and every single team which has qualified deserves to be here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not about grand finals or grand finals play-ins at this point. It's like all these teams, they're deserving. Even the teams who did get eliminated by a very small margin, even they deserved to be in this particular position. But every little micro decision counts at this point, as I said, and that is the reason why these teams are here. And I guess they truly, truly deserve the crown. I guess crowning the champions from among these 12 teams is going to be so much more difficult.
It's definitely going to be difficult, and I think we might have
really wondering. Yeah.
For a moment, I believe for a moment we lost you over there, but nonetheless, Salty, all these teams definitely deserve to be here, and they will. I mean, of course, eventually one of the teams will be crowned the champions of Bangladesh. And what a way to start off the esports circuit! What a way to start off the esports season, because this is the most premier Free Fire tournament being held for the region. And if you're the winners of the first edition, nobody forgets you. Nobody forgets the first person on Moon. Nobody forgets the first team that wins the FFBC. So you have a chance to be immortalized in the history books of Free Fire Bangladesh. The question is, which team is going to grab it? Which team is going to crumble under the pressure? And which team has the fire within themselves? So we will find that out, of course, on the day of the grand finals. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you guys to go out there and follow us on all of our social media handles. We have Bangladesh Official Free Fire on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where it is BD Official Free Fire. So make sure you guys go out there, follow us, because all of the updates, teams, matches, schedule, if you like us casters as well, our pretty faces are going to be out there. So make sure you guys go out there and follow us. And I like how Salty always smirks. Whenever I make a joke, Salty has a smirk. But then again, that is what the chemistry is all about, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, Salty, I'm going to let you do the honors with the redeem code, because that is something that the audience looks forward to. And what a way to be a messiah for the audience.
Absolutely. No one forgets the first guy who gets the redeem code and gathers the skin for himself. We will have the redeem code on your screen right now. It's FFBC T7P7N2P2. It's still valid till midnight, so make sure that you actually grab it very early, because you know what? Like, I always like to be the first person to do quite a lot of things, and I guess I might be the first person to get even this redeem code for myself as well, because I love skins. Trust me, Mamba. I mean, I can't play, you know that very well, but I have skins for myself. And I guess everyone should.
I completely agree with you on one thing. You're definitely not as good of a player, as good as you're a caster. But again, jokes apart, I do believe the N2P2 part could have been R2D2, and I would have nerded out. But of course, that is the redeem code, ladies and gentlemen. It is only valid until midnight tonight. So make sure you guys go out there and redeem the code. Grab your free skins and have fun with all the weapons that you guys have. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it from our side, Salty and I. But before we sign off, Salty, do you have any last words?
The grand finals, Mamba. The grand finals. It is going to be the biggest day in the history of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. Who is going to get their name etched in history? That is going to be the question. But that is it from my side, I guess. Do you have any final words?
Oh, I go on and on about this, and at the end, I think our director would actually have to cut the mic and be like, hey man, you gotta go home. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited for the finals. I hope you guys are as well. So make sure you guys go and follow us all on the social media handles and tune in for the grand finals, because it is going to be a lot of fun. But until the next time, it is going to be Salty and Malba signing off. Oh man.
Bruh.